Hello, hello, good evening. This is a quote to start the stream with. I'm not sure. I like starting the stream with. Also, thank you for the pet. Hi. Welcome back to... We're almost done with this game. There's not much left to do, but I would bet money that it's going to take us over an hour to actually get through it. If it is less than an hour, then I don't know what I'll do. I'll lose my bet. But I think it's gonna take longer because this is like it's the end of the game. It's the end of this specific game, so there has to be quite a lot that's still coming. Despite the game being like, oh, you know, you have everything you need. There's not that much left to do. Don't worry about it. I will worry. This game actually has a bad ending as well. That I'm not going to grab on stream, but I'm going to grab for myself because it features an achievement for it. But we only do the true and the good endings here. And we forget to get our controller ready, which is fine. Welcome to court. 7 years, all leading to one verdict. A verdict which you must decide. Is the defendant Vera Mission innocent? Guilty? The courtroom doors are opening. The trial awaits. Are you ready to begin? Hell yeah. Preparations complete. Something inside me rising, surfacing. Okay. Something important, lost long ago. It's close now. So close. Number 9. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Vera Misham. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready to rock. Prosecutor Gavin, how is the defendant, Vera Misham's condition? Acute atropinian poisoning, according to her physician. She could die at any time. Thus, her absence from the courtroom today. What? You can't put her on trial without her being here? It is unusual. They should wait for her to get better and do it then. It's so bureaucratic of them. That's being a little harsh. They can't delay the trial any longer, or they risk having no one left to try. It's like, oh, damn, we need to get her verdict out there before she dies. Okay. A trial without a verdict can only cause grief. The records of this case and experience tell us this. Apologies to the defendant, but the show must go on. Right. If Vera dies, the trial will be cancelled. I'm not going to let that happen. Mr. Wright told me everything that's been going on behind the curtain all these years. I'm going to get Vera her innocent verdict while there's still time. He did not actually tell you every single thing, my guy. Very well. Your opening statement, Prosecutor Gavin. The prosecution's case is unchanged by recent events. Why did Vera Misham succumb to poison? Because she couldn't live with the guilt of what she'd done. That's fucking stupid. But Vera was poisoned with atropine, the exact same poison that took her father's life. What better confession could you ask for? Being the killer, she would have had access to the poison. Significant, since it's rather hard to come by. That is true. In other words, I see no need for further discussion. Well, my guy, that's why we're in court. We could have had our verdict yesterday. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no objections, I see no reason to postpone the verdict. What we need to worry about is the verdict, but the trial itself. The defense holds that Vera Misham is the victim, not the killer. If that's so, then you have to prove something. She was in court giving her testimony before us. How do you propose her killer poisoned her? That's easy. Oh, and incidentally, it would be nice if you told us who a mystery killer was. Prosecution's objection is sustained. I asked the defense to prove its claims to its court. Tell us how Vera Mission was poisoned. There are two things to prove here. Who did it and how? Which to it first? Huh? Gonna show how first. How did the killer poison Vera Mission? I will focus first on the method used. Any comments before we begin, Prosecutor Gavin? Not a bottle or container of the poison was found in the defendant's body. I see. So the vector of poisoning is unknown. Is the defense prepared to prove how the poison reached Vera Mission? Yes, Your Honor. Very well. What method was used to poison Vera Mission? What's this? My, what a beautiful bottle. I'd like to give whoever designed that a hand. Because it's in the shape of a hand. That's a bad joke. Is that nail polish? It's colorless. Oh. Something the matter? No, nothing. Nothing at all. So the killer put poison in this bottle and made her drink it. As Prosecutor Gavin has told us, this is nail polish. Nail polish? It's like paint for nails? Know any woman with red nails? Ah, my wife has red nails. I see. So she's been painting them all this time. Okay. Let's recall yesterday's trial. Remember when Vera was testifying to the court? She has a habit of biting her nails. Whenever Vera became nervous, she had a habit of biting her nails. Nails? Yeah. Prosecutor Gavin, when the prosecution and Vera examined, did they check her nails? Bailiff, have them check the defendant's nails at once. Mr. Justice. Yes? Do you know who did this? Do you know who put poison in that nail polish? Yes. That bottle belongs to Vera Mission. Why do you ask? Know someone else who might have a bottle like this? No, just checking. To be fair, Claudia is a victim in this case as well. Mr. Justice, you're about to accuse someone of poisoning a bottle of nail polish. Please dispense with the chatter. You realize the weight of this accusation. Here, let me show you. Understood, Your Honor. No problem. I know what I'm doing this time. Then let us ask. Who poisoned Vera Mission via her nail polish? I mean, they're making it really easy. The menu opens and it's like, boom. I wonder who could have been. What's this? Christoph Gavin. What's your game? My bro, there's no way he could do a thing like that. You should know that better than anyone else. Indeed. He's behind bars. I know. However, that doesn't mean it was impossible to do what he did. Ask yourselves when he put the poison in the bottle. It could have been yesterday. It could have been a month ago. Maybe it was a year ago. Or perhaps it was 7 years ago. But Christoph Gavin had no motive for killing this poor girl. It's simply inconceivable. Prosecutor Gavin doesn't seem to think so. That face tells me one thing. Christoph Gavin's own younger brother doesn't find it inconceivable at all. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, if you feel there's a clear and pressing need, then we may have to summon Christoph Gavin from jail as a special witness. Fine. I've known for some time that an impenetrable darkness lurked at the bottom of this. A darkness that has swallowed even myself. Okay. The defense's wish is granted. Let prisoner Christoph Gavin take the stand. Bailiff, begin proceedings to call a special witness. The witness is Christoph Gavin, currently residing in solitary cell 13 at Central Prison. That was quick. Your Honor, how nice to see you again. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? Hi, good evening. It's not every day I'm summoned from my solitary cell. In fact, it's never. I think you already know Mr. Christoph Gavin. Mr. Justice. I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself. Why do I feel like somehow he's still my boss? Because he was for the longest time. Stiff upper lip, Apollo, you can do it. Does this bottle look familiar? Ariadne nail polish. Why yes, I use it myself. As the late defendant, I hear. She's not dead yet. And must there something concerning this bottle you wish to ask me about? I admit I respect her for a taste of nail polish. A taste, indeed. This nail polish was how Vera Mission was poisoned. After quinine, was it? You're well informed about the case, Mr. Gavin. Even in solitary, much comes to my desk, and I have nothing to do but read. Well, Clavia, maybe you can explain this. You being accused again? By him? Again? Ah, and? You agree with his accusation, do you? Let's hold a proper trial, shall we? Christoph Gavin, your testimony, please. I'd be delighted. The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin. You are suspected of the poisoning of the defendant Vera Mission. Please testify on this matter to the court. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. I've been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. The prosecution's case holds she poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father too. He said it first, not me. Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely. Naturally. For one, I don't even know the missions. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice? Very well, Mr. Justice, begin your cross-examination. I'm accusing Christoph Gavin, my ex-boss, but I know he poisoned the missions. The question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention why. Oh. Let's see. Oh. Oops. It is the hand, I think. Yeah. Look at this.
Gotcha!
It was you who killed Drew Mission. A bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright. Just reason actually was. I mean, you are the first to claim it. Oh, really? But you see, I saw it. Right when he said her father too. Your hand tensed unnaturally, and the little devil appeared to give me the news. And let's assume for the sake of argument that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? All tense witness is guilty. And tell me, was Drew Mission fond of nail polish too? Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get to someone's mouth. Then I must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Mission was killed on October 6th, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, then I don't know what is. But you found a way all the same. And I found it too. This is how you poisoned Mr. Mission. I mean, we've been over this specific one so many times now.
Take that!
I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction. The night Mr. Misham died, he was seen writing a letter. Atropine was found on this stamp, Mr. Gavin. So am I to understand this stamp was the murder weapon? Yes, you are. Oh, and yes, this stamp was found in your prison cell. That is all we honor. Poison on the back of that stamp. After Drew Mission was killed, someone paid a visit to this witness's cell. Phoenix right. Heavy. That's when he found the stamp. You made Drew Mission write you a letter. That's how you killed him. What? My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. The Clary is being all you need to do is recall witness Sparkrush's testimony. A stamp. Local postage stamp, yep. He was looking for a stamp, ergo he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at? What I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame. You know what? I never want to have to say the word commemorative after this case ever again. It was mere coincidence that he used it that night. That would seem to be the case. Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I can somehow manipulate coincidence. He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder. What? Really, Claudia? You should be seeing through these weak spine bluffs by now. He's right, though. How could anyone have known Mr. Misham would use that stamp that night? Least of all, Christoph Gavin locked away in his cell. Oh, it seems that the defense has run out of things to say. You assume he had something to say in the first place. I believe the defense's bluff has been called. Defense's bluff? I'm not sure I agree with you there, Christoph. Oh yeah. Honestly, I wanted to believe you, but the defense wasn't trying to get away with a bluff. You were, Christoph. Ooh, what are you saying? Prosecutor Gavin. Her forehead. What was your accusation again? Huh? Oh, it was that this poison stamp killed Drew Misham, yeah? To which my brother responded thus. There was no way to know when Misham would use the stamp. Yes, that's right, which is why it couldn't have been planned. Tell me, it needs to be planned. Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? The defense's case is simply that Drew Misham died by that stamp. That's all. Coincidence? Christoph, you tried to slip out from under his accusation by changing the subject. If that's not bluffing, what is it? What are you up to, Claudia? I could ask you the same question. I silence the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. But Mr. Gavin, that's impermissible testimony. Very well. I shall take his claim head on then. Justice. What? You accuse me of Drew Misham's murder, yes? Then, allow me to ask you. What possible reason could I have to kill a painter? Apollo motive. He's talking about a motive. No shit! Really? Indeed. It's hard to see how an attorney would come to want to kill a painter. Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning? Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose. So, what does it mean? It means there might be a weak spot. Maybe have some evidence to prove a motive. A motive for murder. This is a vital, if not the most vital element in this case. Please consider this when making your statement. I'd say it's about this vital. But even then you can still make a mistake. That's pretty vital. Well, Mr. Justice, I'm going through with this no matter what. Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. Then, let's see what you have for us. What reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Misham? Christoph Gavin's motive becomes clear when we consider why the stamp came to Drew Misham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery on. Go back 7 years. Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. A page from a diary, wasn't it? Magnifico Mayer's diary. Now, when attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes. This was the evidence he presented. To his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request a forgery be made? That was never proven. The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright. Who other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it? And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is the second. Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Mission by the client who requested that forgery. The enclosed stamp was none other than a poison commemorative stamp. Drew Mission drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old. The client who requested his forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery. Keep them from talking. But he made a mistake. Stem was a picture of my favorite magician, so I kept it. Yeah. The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stem was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years. The forehead. Do you understand what you're telling us? I do. Hi, Raiders, welcome in. I'm new. I like the color pink. Vision of JPGs. We're currently in the final case of Apollo Justice. So big spoilers for anyone who has not actually played this. How are you? How is stream? I'm good. The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp. And it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Mission was none other than Phoenix Wright. No. Do you think you forgot about this one? Really? But it's the final case. The one with the painter? And Clavier and Christoph? No? Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. No? Then how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began. Something. And one more thing. Oh yeah, who was his previous attorney? Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before. Now here's a question. Just who was Shadi Enigma's previous defense attorney? No. This can't all be. But it is all true. There was another man, a defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you, Christoph Gavin. What is the meaning of this witness? I mean, defendant, former lawyer? Let me begin by denying this. It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin. And impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim? That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield. Her forehead. Are you sure you don't have evidence? What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy. Evidence. Evidence that shows this man, Christoph Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago. Damn it. Just prove it. Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case. You must have thought of some evidence, Apollo. Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. I have to pull the darkness out of him, and proof is the only way I can. What proves Christoph Gavin's link to Drew Mission? Well, Mr. Justice, you claim Christoph Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Mission 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not. Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then, I say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well. But if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty. Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? Oh my god! I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice. Fine, Your Honor. All I have to prove is any kind of link. Something that ties Christoph Gavin to Drew Mission. And I have something that clearly does the job. Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us a link between our witness and Drew Mission. Yeah, sure. Let me make a save here though, so I can grab the bad ending for when I need it later.
Objection!
That scrap of paper. I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. Hmm? Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting. Mr. Wright's handwriting. What is the meaning of this? See now? Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell, except I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright. When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail. Eh? You mean this letter was in your cell? No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit. Well, if it's a forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible. This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter. Reproduction? When Mr. Wright visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera. Ah, there we go. He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. The defense's claim is denied. What? Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice. We're certainly taking a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to enter cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point. Apollo, do something! I'm thinking, but without evidence, I don't have anything I can use on him. Very well. This sends a special witness as cross-examination. It's funny when the prosecution is on our side. Show's over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin. Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years, and I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene. Now's our chance. Let's clean out the family closet here, Christoph. Abby, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine? Or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier. Apollo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember what's really important to you. You amuse me, our forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago. Finally. Yeah. I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence. And the next moment you called and drew mission. It was almost as if... Almost as if what? Funny, it didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page. Don't do this, Claudia. I knew because you told me, Christoph. What? It was the night before the trial. Claudia. Esther? Not seeing at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. Huh? Why not? I won't be facing off with you in your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? The attorney who'll be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect, listen. I want you to call in a special witness. Then... I wondered about it at the time. How did Christoph know so much? Prosecutor Gavin. Christoph, we were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserve that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case. Victim's belongings? Which would have included Magnifi's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin. My, Clavier, you disappoint me. You find trees, yet Mr. Forest. I'm gonna repeatedly save. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can sweep this under the rug, not anymore. Tell me what's going on behind that trial. Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing. Apollo, I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trucy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Gramahin. 2 cards. Oh, they played as well, I'm guessing. 1 card. Showdown time. Enough. You lose, Gavin. Thanks for the work. Now go. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as his representation because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion. Eddie used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete. Zach wasn't watching his points or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Christoph Gavin. I couldn't believe it. Phoenix right. A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs. He dismissed me and went with a pitiful excuse for a man. He deserves to die for that error alone. Jesus Christ. Hold it. So the one who requested that forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these two men shamed me and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Ramayi both deserve what they got. So you asked Mr. Misham to forge that evidence, so you could win. But then, when you were dismissed as Zach Ramayi's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap. You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty evidence to him. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all I had imagined came to pass. Everything went perfectly. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep. Prosecutor Gavin. Perfectly. You're mad, Gustav. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Claudia? Tell me, how did that trial end? Cancelled when the defendant vanished. I get it. So, Christoph, you've been living in fear for 7 years. What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance. So you watched everyone involved in the case for 7 years. Wait just a minute. Zach Ramayi was seen by this reporter. How is that possible? Was he alive after being gone 7 years? Finally. I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Ramayi gone missing for 7 years. Trucy's father. What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him. Right. Leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Christoph Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler. I remember him quite well. Shadi Smith, was it? Poisoned in a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. The details don't really matter right now. What matters is that traveler was Zach Ramayi. What is it, Apollo? Oh? Keep going. We'll talk about it later. Did she already know? Someone please explain this. Mr. Justice, can you explain this? It all started 7 years ago. The great magician Magnifique Ramayi's death started it. Magnifique Ramayi's death and his student Zach Ramayi the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christoph Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Through mission. Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Precautions? To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers. At your quinine, applied your commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Misham's side. The bomb didn't go off. Father. She saved him by taking the stamp. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up. The Ariadne nail polish, of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Misham is nervous, she has a bad habit. Tendency to bite her nails. That nail polish was a good luck charm. It was his insurance. Insurance? As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside? If she went into any trouble, she'd become nervous. And the nail polish would do the rest. This time bomb sat there for 7 years. And then they went off almost simultaneously. If you're finished. Maybe. May I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time. Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing we said? Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Flavia, surely you understand. We're back to the evidence, the lacking evidence. Nothing proves a link between him and the atropine that took Drumisham's life. Objection! What about the restaurant? You killed Zach Ramaye to keep him from talking. I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shadi Smith, about whom we know little else. You can't seriously think I knew he was a particular fugitive? Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Mission, suspected in the murder of her father. My trial's been finished for 6 months now. I'm afraid we have strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is the defendant Vera Mission who was on trial here. Oh, but you were doing so well, Apollo. As long as there's no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Mission innocent. Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence. You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in the nail polish. Who then was responsible for causing Vera Mission to bite her nails? What? It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought that poison to her lips was you. What? Evidence was everything. There's nothing more. Here you are, Chris. With that username? Oh. Are you a supporter of the Phoenix and Christoph had a thing going on during those 7 years or no? Very, very unhealthy. Yeah. Big mood. Same. Evidence is everything. There's nothing more. I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor, Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner, Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Claudia? Unfortunately, yes, Christoph, you're right. That is, you would have been right until now. He looks like us. This man can never catch a break. What? The news not reached your desk in solitary. The eyes of the nation on this courtroom today. This is a trial case for a new judicial system. A pronoun for every spike in his hair. That's right, I totally forgotten. The jury system. Jurists, you say? The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless, emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers. Bruh. Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense. There's only room for two in this court, me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say. They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. How can you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright. Yeah. So, everything was leading to this. Of course. Right. 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 Yeah. I like how they just throw every single sound effect they have in there. It's like 15 bombs going off at the same time. You do not care. I won't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law. The law is everything. Law is absolute. You let ignorant swine soil your courts. Stop. It's over. Xavier, you can fix it. The law is absolute. You can't be serious. What? Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions. The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem polished to a gleam through trials and errors. It is this fruit we receive and pass on and face in our time. And it is always changing, growing. Nurturing it is our task as human beings. Except for you, Christoph. You aren't changing. You stopped. You're not needed anymore. That's a crazy line. I couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday I'll know what law is. And I'll fight to change it if I have to. Am I still allowed to save here? I am. I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began as a trial of Vera Mission, accused of murdering her father. The painter Drew Mission. However, several other incidents were reviewed and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurors of the court. For the death of Drew Mission, how do you find the defendant Vera Mission? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you now to consider this matter. See, if you declare her guilty here, you get a bad ending. This ends a trial for this case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Mission is currently in intensive care. If a decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. Factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Mission's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Please. Wait! Yes, jurist number 6. There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be jurists. That is correct. I've looked into all your dossiers. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case? I see. Does that answer your concern? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Mission. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely, judge well. Yeah, He does look a little... that's a familiar face, isn't it? And so a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. The first verdict under the jury system. Innocent by unanimous decision. The record will show that when the verdict was announced, special witness Christoph Gavin laughed. A laugh louder than any ever heard before, or since. A laugh that echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. October 10th, 8:30 a.m., the morning after the trial. In an intensive care ward, a true miracle occurred. Vera Misham opened her eyes. Oh god. Isn't it unanimous? Unanimous? Whatever. There, I'm so glad I... Don't cry, Apollo. You animus. I'm happy too, and proud. You did well, Apollo. When I thought about... What if Vera... Hey now, don't you start crying too. I'm sorry you had to see us like this. Aww. Look at her. Thank you so much. Apollo, thank you. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I hadn't, you never would have bitten your nails. Unanimous? Oh, okay. No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside like that, clinging to my good luck charm. When I opened my eyes and saw you, I finally understood. It's important to be a part of the world. See things with your own eyes. Looks like the poison had some effect after all. It killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life. I knew you'd pull through, Vera. I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, let me thank you. No, really, it's okay. Aww! Look, it's me! I love it! Thanks! Is that me? She really captured the essence, Apollo. Well, I think so at least. That reminds me, do you know where the other lawyer is? The other lawyer? Oh, you mean Daddy. Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no. That's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm through looking away from things I've done. I hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. He brought all those things for me when he came to visit earlier. You mean a stack of videos? So right finished watching them all. You know, I knew my real daddy was alive. Huh? I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish from the courtroom. You did what? How? I'm not telling. He promised me that day he went away. We may not meet again for some time, Trucy. But know this, I will be watching, and one day I shall return. You're the next grammar year, after all. Oh, Trucy. In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, could he? It's okay. Phoenix is my daddy now, even if he can't really play the piano. That he can. Oh, and I've got you too, even if your voice is kinda loud sometimes. Glad I made your list. Hey, come to think of it, where is Daddy? The one who can't play. Do you know, Apollo? I think he said he had to meet someone. I wonder. Maybe it's a new mommy. Oh, Trucy. Yes, Vera. I was wondering, could you show him to me once more? So I had, was it? Oh, he's not been knighted. Yet. Here goes. It was an impersonation, Mr. Hat. Objection! Not loud enough. And I like his magic underwear better anyway. That's magic pennies, Apollo. There he is. So, your memories return. Mr. Ray, was this all a part of your plan too? I don't know what you're talking about. When I lost my memory, I was reborn as Lamy War. But you knew my true identity, did you not? That is why you chose me as one of your jurists. Ah, you're thinking into it too much. Besides, there was no guarantee that regaining your memory would make you happy. So it is a happy thing. For so long I thought I was alone. But now I know I have children. 2 dear children. I'm so proud of them. There's 2, I think. Thanks to you. Are you going to tell them? They do not know? Nope. They don't know their mother. They don't even know their siblings. I will go to them when the time is right. Until then, don't worry, I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me too. A little annoying at times, but still. I have to keep an eye on her at least. Because I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside. Yeah. Your bracelet. Yes? I've seen a lot of mysterious things these past 7 years. But your bracelets were the strangest of all. I remember meeting him half a year ago now in Christoph Gavin's office. And then I met you. 2 fates is destined to intertwine, and I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that. Such a small thing, that bullet, yet it told who I was aware. I mean, yeah, you were shot, lady. 10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died, but I didn't survive that accident. That is why I left the troop, my family. Now my memory has returned, I am myself once more. For the first time, I'm glad to be alive, Mr. Wright. Speaking of miracles, Vera and Mission regained consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are. It is a strange thing, fate. Sometimes a life is taken, sometimes a life is spared. You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily, really, says the guy who has been run over by a car and hit a telephone pole before, so yeah. Has been hit over the head with a fire extinguisher, yeah. Sure. As long as I've got something worth fighting for. And that's pretty much the end of my story, for now anyway. I still got a long way to go on this path of mine. Well, it needs some work. But there's hope now. We lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I keep it this lawyer thing for a while. Oops, training time, gotta go. Courts of Steel, here comes justice. Objection! Yeah! I'm glad you're staying with the agency, Apollo. It's like I found my long-lost big little brother. Yeah! And don't you worry what you Grandma Yi, Trucy's on the case. Not that I have this, thanks to Daddy. Trucy, Grandma Yi, frankly I got my doubts, but had Grandma Yi, no, that'll pack him in. People die way too easy, but also survive quite a lot. Fair. Yakuza, it really is just a matter of who the character is. You don't have any good cards if you're a woman, though. It's not every day you get a trial that rocks harder than one of our gigs, yeah? That's why it's over. The Gavinas are breaking up. The newscaster running tissues at supermarkets nationwide. Bruh. You're the real stars now. I look forward to our next jam session. Yeah. I mean, that does make sense. One detective in his band is also a murderer. He has to deal with the whole, his brother situation. It's finally over. You know, thinking about it, I've been a piano player longer than I was a lawyer. Now that everything's sorted, and I've got time on my hands, maybe I'll take some lessons. Or maybe I'll take the bar exam again. That's crazy. Playing piano for 7 years and he still can't do it. So I was standing around eating Snickers the other day, and I got this crazy idea. What if they were golden? You could augment the crunch, or better yet, make them ding. The power of science. Although the preservatives might not be 100% safe. Whatever you say, Emma. In an unlikely event you are wanting Russian feast, come to Borscht Boldly. The only thing called in a restaurant is borscht. But if greater challenge is being required, then come to the hideout, you know who to ask for. This has to be one of the strangest restaurants they've had in the series, no joke. Why is there snow in the restaurant? Sukitake pastry's getting back to its eastern roots, spread the culture. Woo! Yo boss, culture time! This is how we ride route, capiche? I'm still about giving back to the people. Yo boss, PR time! And this is how we ride people, alright? Not that Rocky's paying any attention. It's... Sounds like he managed to get through his surgery though. Bizarre! Chinese characters on cake was a fly idea like 3,000 years ago? Believe that. And you wanna make it today, you gotta keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that's why I made the OG cracker for real. I know it don't look like no cracker, gee why? You want me to call it the OG muffin? What are you saying? What is he saying? I don't know where all this talk about food is coming from. You ask me, there's only one food and that's noodles. Noodles forever. I got a new one too. See, this time I just put a big chunk of salt in a bowl. Why pretend? Eldoon's noodles is about to salt. Salt forever. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this guy. Thank you for the pet. My exceptionally inquisitive nature has won me adjuration. What? You see, they used to call me Wesley Stinker and Wesley Sticky Hands. But no longer. I have a new name, one that reflects my true academic nature. Wesley Sicko reporting. Yes, curiosity is a sickness and I am the cure. No. No, you're just annoying as hell. Also, keep in mind that he did go around stealing panties. Like, excuse me? Yeah, Wesley Sicko is fitting. I don't know how to thank you for all you've done. Light has returned to my life, and with it, joy. I may have lost years, but I have gained a treasure. 2 treasures, in fact. I will think of them when I write my next song. Yeah! Brusher, Brushel here, back on the beat with another interview. How do I feel about how things turn out? No scoop yet, but journalist confidence in mint condition. End quote. Okay. Unanimous. I've decided to keep painting. Originals only, of course. I suppose I'll have to see a bit of the world outside to find what to paint. But I know there are good people out there now. I've met them. The door is open. The world is waiting. Thank you. She's so cute. Ta-da! You look a special bonus on the music and background settings screen. Oh, okay. That's nice. I do not want to continue on to the next game. Thank you. It's a big baby 6 years. Oh. This is the next game, which features quite a few more cases than that one, but we're not gonna jump into that right now. That would be a little over the top, but see? I was right. It took us more than an hour to finish up the game. On the other hand, we do have the time. We might as well check out the bad ending. It's not that surprise miracle. Absolutely not. We can go check out the bad ending. Might as well. As with all the other few bad endings that Ace Attorney has, it's not going to be a very long thing. Guilty. I don't actually remember what happens. I think she might die. And so a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. The first verdict under the jury system. A hung jury, the final verdict would have to wait for the following day. But fate had different plans. That night, defendant Vera Bishop's condition worsened. She died in a hospital bed. The verdict was postponed for eternity. It's a reach. Guilty! Let's get that out of the way. That's it. That is the entire ending. It's like, oh, you're calling her guilty? Boom, game over. Bless you. The thing is, it has only been like an hour. I'm tempted to kill innocent girl, how dare you? Well, I wanted the achievement. I wanted the achievement. That's why. Okay. Wait. Let me press many buttons then. For a little switch up. Oh. Someday we will have a bong. Yeah, I'm sorry. Someday. Not today. Let's see. Let's see what I have. Okay, this is gonna take a while. I will get bonk just for the bonk. It's like, oh, you guys, the bonk actually works now, and then it's just like a rain of bonks coming down. One day. It's gonna be a little longer though. Let's see. Let me update this. And also... Let me... Yeah, that should work. Oh. In. My original plan was to start the new Ilan Yuri maybe tomorrow for Women Wednesday, but on the other hand, might as well. It quite literally only released yesterday, so I want to get in on that. I should unmute it. Give me a few minutes. Oh yeah. This one is gonna be voiced in Japanese this time though, which I think is crazy. Stream into, yeah, right? It's like, okay, it's like it's Woman Wednesday somewhere in the world, depending on the time zone. Might as well. Let's see. Voice emphasis. Ah, voice assistant. I will allow self-voicing to read character dialogue. That's nice. But we are going to listen to the voices. Okay. I would like text speed immediate. We're sticking with this one. Uy. Oh, okay. Little. Controller support in a visual novel is always crazy to me. I pretend somebody else is already tomorrow. True. True. Okay. Or is that too quiet? It feels a little quiet. I don't know. We'll have to see once we get into the actual game, maybe. if it's too loud or not. This as well. There we go. And there we go. Okay. This game does have quite a few content warnings. What I've seen. I am going to keep everything as it is though. So I think I've updated everything, yeah. Let's get into it. Japanese voice acting. This is a first, I think, for the for any of the LAN games. Japanese voice acting is a first. Also, I know absolutely nothing. I didn't play a demo. I didn't check out anything else. I was just like, okay, there's a new one. I know nothing. Let's just hope I'm not going to cover any text. Ooh. A little bit. A terrible chill hangs in the air, the season proving bitter as it so often is here. On this cold day, a great throng of students slowly shuffles through the piled snow of the university grounds, the day's lectures finally over. Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I always pin the warnings, if I can. Some gossip freely with friends, while others fawn over their partners. Most, however, stroll silently. Amidst a sea of people walks one unremarkable student among many. She's so pretty, though. It went without saying that I go to a new university. I was called smart, clever, intelligent. I quietly liked the praise, and saw no reason to fight others' ambitions for me. As long as people told me I was doing well, I hardly cared what I did. I wouldn't say I have a career in mind, nor any particular plan for the future. I barely chose this way of life at all. I simply fell into it. Things happened around me, and I followed the path of least resistance. I never considered what would happen when I had to think for myself. The train rattles and shakes as it trundles along the desolate city outskirts, the air inside stifling from the heavy heaters. The seats always fill before I get on, so standing for the awkwardly long ride has become normal by now. With little else to do, I stare out the train doors. My thoughts soon turn inward as they so often do in quiet moments. How's the sound? Is that good? Not needing to study a day of high school has paradoxically made university all the worse. Faced with more difficult problems, and never having needed to work at understanding something before me, I found myself restless. One might turn to friends for support, but my nature seems to drive others away. I always got on better with teachers than other students in any case. The city outside becomes distant, its glass buildings reflecting a grey sky. The only colour to be seen is that of the bright red supported TV tower, its wire-framed girders beaming through the white snow. Not having travelled outside of Hokkaido, it's difficult to view life here in an objective sense. The remoteness hasn't hurt the city though, having every convenience one could hope for despite its distance from Tokyo. The snow season has brought the annual increase in tourists with it, a topic of some debate given the fuss and crowding they cause. Hotels and snowfields continue their trade though, as while Sapporo may be the capital of Hokkaido, the money is still sorely needed. Trains work day and night to build new apartments, the city's population ever rising. Bustling train station is one of the most modern in the country, a landmark of glass outside and high technology inside. Even the trains themselves are kept in eerily perfect condition, as if every trip were the first of the day. The game is any of that. You know what? I guess we just have to stick around and see. I just realized one thing though. I am quite literally allowed to do one more thing. I am allowed to post that I'm streaming the game on the server, so I will be doing that. Might as well. Sapporo never stops changing in order to keep up, as I'm locked in a rivalry with Tokyo's modernity. Is any of this right? I couldn't really say. Like me, everyone keeps going about the day in this ever-changing city, even as the past disappears around us for modern developments, new businesses and more money. The place now passing by the train window is where I was born and where I expect to die. Perhaps it's fate that I live in this grayscale city, so fitting is it for someone like me. You're not a very positive person, are you? The walk from the station to my house is thankfully much shorter, though the idea of selling it and getting an apartment closer to school is something I've considered more than once. Having passed a local cemetery on the way, I enter. You have to pass the local cemetery every morning and evening? Ooh. Having slipped off my shoes, a pat of feet on wood echoes about as I enter the spacious living room. A flimsy plastic bag carries dinner from the nearby convenience store in one hand, while the well-worn messenger bag for school remains strapped over my shoulder. As my eyes adjust to the light, a familiar unease comes over me, the unease of true solitude. A haunting silence hangs in the air, the room size only magnifying the effect. Few things provoke this unsettling feeling so deeply as an empty house which shouldn't be. With my money largely going toward university fees and keeping the house, most of the rooms have been neglected. The table before me might appear a stately wooden construction, but the lie is exposed by the veneer having flaked off a corner, exposing cheap particle board. I'll go to a furniture store and replace it sometime, I think to myself as I hang my coat and bag. Of course, sometime is vague enough that I can rationalize away that time never coming. With my food quickly growing colder, the house itself being little warmer than outside, I settle myself down on the cushion. The air soon fills with studied and monotonous voice of a television whose presenters are beginning to eat. That was confusing. It's like, where's the Japanese coming from suddenly? The lukewarm set meal is, for better or worse, consistent in the way convenience store food usually is. The same goes for the bitter green tea which washes it down. The occasional click of chopsticks is all that serves to punctuate the uninteresting news report, the woman's voice rattling off the details of another traffic accident on the snow-covered roads. A routine day, much like any other this year. My attention beginning to drift from disinterest, my eyes settle on the cardboard box to the side of the table. I half-heartedly consider throwing it away, but like most, I decide to use it for storage. For what and when, I hardly know. It still has a shipping label attached now that I look at it. To think that one thoughtless order of an otherwise nondescript book from some second-hand store would change so much of my life. The idle thought confirms my plans for the evening, putting myself to work in order to calm my nerves. I turn off the television and sort the remnants of dinner into burnable and recyclable trash. With that, I take a long breath and head to the study. Even as I walk up the stairs, I become acutely aware of the sensation from the bandages on my left arm, a now permanent reminder of this grim pastime. Oh! Ooh! A lavish room is revealed as I enter, the musty smell of books and old furniture hanging in the air. A haphazard collection of antiques and oddities as the result of a year haunting local antique stores and online marketplaces. Something, anything, to take my mind off what was happening around me. That's a small amount of blood on the floor there. My eyes move down to the floor. What started as pleasant dark wood is now blighted with remnants of dried blood. Stains run deep, no matter how hard I've tried to clean it. The sight going unnoticed by anyone else is one of the few advantages to living alone. Stepping around the faded remnants of chalk between the wood panels, I stride over to my desk. My laptop full of translation notes lies to one side, while a time-worn leather-bound book lays open on the other. It's likely the oldest object for many miles around and treated accordingly. Ooh! Assorted notes on the nature of blood magic. Note assort. Yeah. Okay. The title alone made me curious, a curiosity which soon developed into obsession. Before long, that obsession turned from the intellectual to the practical. With some reverence, I carefully leafed through the pages. The words of the author, one Isabella di Mona, speak across the ages as I scan the page. Translating the Italian text has been slow going, not helped by its archaic form, but what progress I've made has yielded good results. Yeah! Hi, Tracy. Good evening. Have you read it already? Well, that's been my body which has slowed me more than anything else. Looking between the floor and books several times, I attempt to visualize the patterns needed to replicate Isabella's experiments. Glyphs and patterns are strange and complex, more than one attempt ending in dismal failure. You just finished it earlier? Nice! I had one other person on my friend list who I saw, like, when I started stream earlier, they were still in the progress of reading it. And just earlier when I checked it to start the game up myself, I saw that I had posted a review because they literally just finished it. I was like, We're not going to finish the game in one go. I'm not even allowed to do that. Before the end of the week, I mean. Realizing I've begun to draw this out to avoid the necessary pain for as long as possible, I set the book down at its open page and set about the preparations. Ooh. I'm in for a treat? Hell yeah. I mean, to be fair, aren't we always in for a treat? But I like to go into these games without any spoilers whatsoever, so I'm always just like, okay, I have no idea what's gonna go on here. Oh, there's a bunch of warnings. Okay. Taking a piece of chalk from the pile of seemingly unrelated items on my desk, I kneel down and begin to retrace the intricate plans detailed in the book's pages, every so often standing to consult the sketches I'm using as guides. I left the heartbeats on. Should I not? I didn't change a lot of stuff in the settings. Wait. How would I... Do those count as SFX or as M? Oh no, they count as ambience. Okay. I'm gonna turn them down a little though, because I don't like when they're that loud. There's an odd beauty to the intricate patterns slowly appearing on the floor. One concentric ring is followed by another, mysterious symbols and figures filling the spaces between them. You wanna... I mean, to an extent, I think it's okay. Ambience noises can sometimes be very grating on the ears. Isabella's process of experimentation and discovery, the result of a great mind imprisoned by a family, has been fascinating to uncover page by page as my translation progressed. Trying to replicate her results would soon prove even more intriguing. Slowly but surely, the detailing comes to an end, and the last of the lines meet. Coming to my feet, I set the chalk back down and set about the more distasteful side of the process. Oh god, oh. Yeah, that's where all the blood is from? Oh, okay, My heart racing, I pull up my left sleeve to well above the elbow, revealing the blotchy cream-colored bandages stretching down a good portion of my arm. It's a strange feeling of keeping something hidden despite being surrounded by oblivious others. Little by little, I unravel the dressing, leaving enough at the top of my arm to avoid it falling. As the skin beneath is revealed, one dark red line after another blights the pale flesh around it. Some have already scarred, soreness and itching reminding me of their presence. No! Reaching to the desk, I take my knife in hand. The blade is nondescript by choice, bought along with random items I didn't need to avoid rousing suspicion. Bringing it to my arm, I hover above the spot below the last cut, in hopes of not interfering with its healing. My heart begins racing as the knife settles against the skin. The sound of my breathing is maddeningly loud as it reverberates around the room, becoming ragged. My knuckles whiten as I clutch the knife's cold metal handle in my shaking palm. I dearly hoped this inhumane act against myself would become more natural, but even now my instincts scream at me to stop. Instinct isn't so easily snuffed out. As the moon's light glints off the coldly A utilitarian blade. I press the tip of the knife to the side of my arm. Oh. Okay. I see what they meant by the effects. In one practiced motion, I overcome my body's pleading and force myself to slice the blade across. Pain lances through my body and mind, the gritting of my teeth, the only thing stopping my painful whimpers from escaping. Tool's job done, I throw it to the ground and clutch my arm tightly. Dark crimson fluid seeps from the open wound, soon flowing freely down my arm and over my hand. I mean, that's what content warnings are for. To warn you of the contents. Crouching down, I put myself to work to pull what attention I can from the wound. Oh. Putting my hand out before me, I straighten my index and middle fingers as thick, warm blood begins to drip from them. Trying my best to minimize my nervous shaking, the chalk outlines soon turn red as I trace them out at a slow but steady pace. Oh girl! I have to take this carefully, I remind myself. My body can't afford to do this often. Every attempt meaning days of recovery. I'm already weak, and the winter's efforts hardly help. Girl! As the last of the white chalk turns to a wine dark red, I stand once more and glance about. The moonlight reflects off the flushed blood, a slow trickle still dropping to the floor from my arm. A certain dissonance strikes me between the messy red spatters strewn across the floor and the intricate... I'm sorry? Byzantine patterns they formed. The panic thought of this being some descent into madness briefly passes my mind. What madman, what crazed murderer could stand in such a spectacle and think himself sane? Rather than fear such thoughts, I treasure them as I close my eyes shut. The confirmation that I've not yet lost my mind. I can still see this from the outside. I'm still human. As the book says, I concentrate on imagining the symbols and patterns around me in my mind. My emotions begin to shift and ebb, my nerves somehow becoming swept along in a strangely calming sensation. Byzantine. Okay. Ooh! As if caught in a river, my thoughts begin to flow. Rather than fight it as I first did, I allow the slow and uneasy trickle to take me, surrendering to the movements in my mind. Some are pleasant, others horrendous, but all prove fleeting and impermanent. I can't read. What was a river soon becomes a torrent, identifiable memories and concepts becoming abstract and indistinct. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, all merged together in a surging rush, all physical sense of my body long gone as every emotion pulls through me at once. In the swirling and flowing mass, the bedrock below it all begins to sway in a swelling flood. My sense of self nudges and rocks at first, held by the deepest roots, yet little by little against the surging flood. Radiate with ministry. Okay. Don't lose your head. Please. Or your consciousness. Oh. Hello? The soft grass gently presses against my cheek, the dew of early morning contrasting to the sun's warmth. Huh? My eyes slowly open, but my body feels too heavy to move. Far from being unexpected, it's now a familiar feeling. My mind too dull to do anything more, I silently watch the flowers before me gently sway in the breeze while birds squawk in the far distance. It's all so different and so warm. Hi. As if waking from a terribly long sleep, I wearily pick myself up and my senses slowly return. A cloudless blue sky hangs above, with the lush green of the unkept forest surrounding me. It's all so idyllic. Here there's no bright red tower piercing a sullen sky. The world which stretches out before me couldn't be farther from the hustle and bustle of the city I've left. The warmth of spring and its many scents confuses my senses, jarred by the shift from the cold winter's night I left. The only blemish on the scene is a column of faint smoke from workshops in the far distance peeking above the tree canopies. The magic worked! You have a nice voice. Probably is a good indicator for when I shouldn't watch. Maybe. I'll just say, blood warning. Next time, yeah. I thoughtlessly say the words to nobody in particular, the nature of what I've done no less surreal to me now than the scant few other times I successfully managed it. Unfortunately, my senses returning to me also means that pain is among them. I quickly set about reminding my bandages, lest anyone here see the scars now disfiguring my forearm. Groaning, I focus on making sure they're done tight and firm before fixing the ends once more. As much for myself as any other, I roll my sleeve back down afterwards to avoid the temptation to look. Adjusting my glasses and dusting myself off with my uninjured arm, I set off toward the town ahead. The town of Sapporo. But in a different time. An empty horse-drawn tram trundles along past my field of vision, with its hunchbacked owner patiently letting it trot along at a leisurely pace. He pays me little heed as we pass, clatter of hoofs blending with the sounds of passers-by. The shadows are small, so it must be around noon. The flow of time here always throws me off. As I so often do when I come to this place, I find myself just watching. Strolling through as if in a daze, caught up in observing this strange and foreign world. Yet this foreign-feeling world is also strikingly familiar. For reasons unknown, the magic I've been attempting, transference, has reliably transported me here. When I should be in some other country, I instead arrived in the same location but a century ago. Strangely dressed newcomers soon lost the novelty to the people here, few giving me so much as a passing glance as they go about their day. Words can't express how glad I am for the attention fading. Perhaps I should be glad it's the Meiji era. My modern clothing would be just another strange dress to them. Some of those walking before me mix Japanese and Western fashion styles even now to varying degrees of success. A couple of children run by, happily chasing one another along the street. It all feels so different to the grayscale photos and dry documentaries about the Meiji era, or about history at all. The people here feel alive and varied, from the dour to the cheerful. Ooh! My idle stroll comes to an end as I reach my usual destination. Outside the kabuki venue stands the brightest person here, happily seeing of someone she'd been chatting to before noticing my arrival. Oh, hell yeah! I'm gonna grab the OST once it goes up. I did not! No. I am going into this game completely blind. No demo, no nothing. Not even the full explanation of what the game is going to be about, aside from, hey, please heed the content warning. So I read those. Nothing else. Nothing. I ignored every single Patreon thingy that was like, hey, we worked on another thing, or hey, we did another background, or hey, this is done. I'm like, nope. I'm gonna check those out once I'm done with the game. Oh, thank you.
こんにちは、安江さん。元気そうで何よりです。前にも言ったでしょ。安江でいいって。せめて一人くらいは堅苦しいこと抜きでおしゃべりできる相手が欲しいの。じゃあ、私のこともほのかって呼んで。
Despite my best efforts, I will before a sunny disposition as usual. I'm hardly even able to make eye contact as I mumbled my reply. Yasuo takes the comment in stride, her cheeks hinting at a smile hidden behind her fan. My arm suddenly aches from my wounds, causing me to reflexively reach over and clutch it. Such pain is a constant reminder of the cost to get here. But Tithe, a normal person has to pay to mimic the magic afforded to mages. First 3 scenes, there's nothing that's different. Oh, okay. Ooh! True mages such as Yasuo. The magic is no less amazing to watch now as when I first saw it. With mages so few in number in the normal world, those that do not, and those that do exist keeping a low profile, I'm in some ways blessed to meet one who uses their abilities so openly.
大丈夫?
Oh, I like the art style a lot.
大丈夫。少し疲れただけだから。
Accepting my waving off of her concern, Yasuo turns to begin walking, casting a glance behind her to invite me. I quickly skip up alongside as she begins to slowly stroll the streets, stealing the occasional furtive glance at the woman as we go. A very edible. While she's a pretty person in general, I've never quite been able to place her age. I may be terrible at guessing such things normally, but it's her hair which throws me off entirely. I caught it bleached white, but it looks natural despite her youthful face. Finding myself self-conscious, I run a hand through my bangs to neaten them, before adjusting my glasses just so. I'm not particularly good at things like fashion, but for this one person, I want to put in some kind of effort. Oh!
どこへ向かっているの? 特に当てはないわ。 今日の公演が終わったから少し散歩しようと思ったの。
I know what you are.
一緒に過ごせて嬉しいわ。でも疲れたらすぐに行ってね。隠そうとしても分かっているのよ。
Does she know we're
無
from a
理をし
different
て
time?
ここに来ているのでしょ。
Sorry. Bless you! She does her best to make the remarks as gently as possible, but her point is made. I've been hoping she wasn't troubled over such things, but it's hardly the first time she's seen right through.
何もかも夢みたい。札
Okay,
幌
she
の
doesn't.
街が100年前はこんな風だったなんて信じられない。遠い未来の方にはさぞ古めかしく見えるでしょうね。
I like how they made it look like they're actually walking through the city. That's so cool.
どうしたの？急に考え込んで。なんでもない。ここに初めて来た時のことを思い出していたの。あの時のほのかったら迷子の子猫のようだったわね。この世界を見つけてくれたのがあなたみたいな女の子だなんて思いもしなかったわ。
Yasuo punctuates her observation with a churlish laugh, raising my spirits. As we head onto a side street, Yasuo stops to greet a friendly hauler walking by. The man happily begins to chat as he adjusts a yoke across his broad shoulders, sacks of goods tied to either end. Not wanting to intrude, I let my thoughts drift back once again. I stumbled about in the grips of terror for some time, wandering into the town knowing nothing of where I was or how to escape. Nearly frozen in fright, I slinked along the side of the streets, onlooker struck by the bizarre clothing I wore. How fortunate I was for some children to run and fetch Yasuo. When she first caught sight of me, I wondered which of the two of us was the more surprised. She sensed I was of a different time than the others and took me under her wing without a second thought. Even now, I still feel like a helpless kitten. She doesn't know the scene in my world which led to that first journey though. I wonder if she'd think differently of me for it. As the hauler shuffles off and we start walking once more, Yasuo speaks up. Few of her conversations are started by me, though she seems unperturbed by this.
最近はどう？平穏な生活を送っていると言っていたわね。平穏。そうかも。大学に行って帰宅して夕飯を食べて寝るだけの変わり映えのしない毎日だから。安江は？この世界は札幌だけで札幌の人しかいないんでしょ？
Yasuo nods solemnly. I dislike reminding her of the fact, but I have only the most vague understanding of such things.
昔、私たちがこの世界に封印された時、ここは不変の世界となった。私たちにとって今のこの姿が全てということなのでしょうね。
Town stuck.
と言っても、あなたが来るまでね。長い歳月を経て、現実世界から人が来た時は言葉にできないほど驚いたわ。
She giggles once more, smiling to herself at the memory, how easily she laughs off her own past awkwardness. The first impression I had of Yasuo was perhaps the expected one. So many photos spent together of people in formal outfits, stiff poses, and stern, serious faces. While they may try to humanize history in school, there's only so much a museum trip or classroom lecture can do. My preconceptions would be dispelled in moments. In so many ways, she juxtaposed her ladylike properness with a carefree spirit. Her hair's lavishly cared for, yet flows freely rather than being tied up. Her speech is archaic and uses long, obsolete words, only for her to chat naturally and openly. She dresses traditionally, yet gestures widely, and wears her emotions on her sleeve. I know full well I'll be going over every conversation we have in my head for days, if not weeks to come. Angsting over every misstep or hesitation, and overthinking every expression or pause. Yet Yasuo will do no such thing. Everything flows off her. It's graceful in a manner, albeit not quite in a way I expected that word to be used for someone of an era barely past samurai and daimyo.
がっかりさせたらごめん。でも、私にできるなら、あなたをこの世界から助け出したいの。
Maybe we can at some point.
あなたは意外な人を知り合えて本当に嬉しいと思っているの。この世界に初めて来たのが、むしろほのかのような人でよかったわ。
It's not the audio that's doubled, it's the fact that I'm playing the game with my speakers because my headphones broke and I haven't found any others. Yeah. I'm not wearing... I haven't found, like... I haven't actually gone out to buy a new set because I need one with, like, this old... This is a really old type of plug still to put in there because my computer doesn't have any Bluetooth or anything, so I cannot use my Bluetooth headphones. And now I'm just like, wow, the one headphone I still had that I loved using for streams because it was so easy to just plug in, can't use it. It's not noticeably most of the time, I'm hoping, but yeah, setup is not fully complete currently, so sometimes it's a little echoey, I'm sorry. Not knowing how best to react to her praise, I bashfully look away. My driving desire to be complimented is one of my uglier traits. I can only hope it's one of the few things Yasuo hasn't perceived of me. I soon realize I've begun rubbing my arm out of anxiety. For all her praise, I still feel as if I'm telling a lie by omission. How would a mage react to finding the one before them as some regular person mimicking their abilities through such methods? Mini Honoka is not ready. Okay. I will try. Next time I'm actually in the city, I'll try to get another pair of headphones. I'm not happy with this right now either.
一つ聞いてもいいかしら。答えたくなければ無理にとは言わないわ。ええ。ほのかはおいくつかしら。あれほどの術を使う魔術師にしてはずいぶんお若そうね。
The jumper topic forces me to think over the answer for a moment. I can't will myself to tell the truth when she gives such a convenient excuse not to.
少し前に20歳になったばかりかな。
You think?
ということはまだ。
She trails off before finishing her sentence, her expression concerned. I'm left at a loss for words, only growing worse as the spark of realization brightens her face.
安江？来て、後悔はさせないわ。
Once again, I find myself working to catch up with the cheerful woman. Dim lamps struggle to illuminate the tables around us, the izakaya's air filled with the chatter of patrons and a heavy scent of tobacco. With liquor flowing freely and so many in a tight space, the air is taking on a distinctly muggy feel. Many of the animated faces around us flushed a bright red. My gaze rests on the waitresses skittering from table to table, dainty feet in sandals tapping quickly to keep up with the pace of the orders. It's a little uncanny. Everything about the experience is so close to a normal restaurant, yet just different enough to throw me off. Oh, I like the style a lot. As always, I do my best to avoid accidentally catching the eye of anyone in particular. Yasuo does no such thing, instead looking at me with an indulgent smile.
どういうこと？私の誕生日祝いならこんなことしてくれなくてもいいのに。
At this, Yasuo makes a show of pouting.
ほのかはいつもそう。私があなたのために何かしようとすると遠慮するの。あなたの世界にも素敵なものはたくさんあるでしょうけれど、たまにはこちらの世界を堪能してちょうだい。遠慮してるわけじゃないわ。ただ、大将、こちらのお嬢さんに地元のビールをお願い。
The man beyond the counter, as yet unseen, yells out his agreement in a hoarse voice.
ちょっと待って、私20歳になったばかりだし、まだ飲んだことがないのよ。
Drinking age in Japan is 20, right?
ならちょうどいいわ。今試してみましょうよ。
I easily give up my protest in light of how happy she is to be treating me like this. I'd been too shy to fumble my way through dealing with a bar, and I wouldn't know what alcohol would be good to start with in the first place. Our drinks arrived quickly, the old man, perhaps the owner, personally bringing the bottles and glasses to our table. Yasuo doesn't notice my confusion as she stops to pull out the cork in each. Even I know these usually have bottle caps.
40銭だよ。毎度。
Yasuo quickly obliges, passing him 2 odd silver coins. This is the first time I've actually seen sen being used. Regardless, the man cheerfully takes them before hobbling back off past the curtain. I hadn't taken her for a beer drinker, but she's clearly looking forward to this more than I as she gives an eager smile. Trying to paper over my confusion, I quickly take one of the bottles in hand. Supporting it in one hand and tipping with the other, I gently pour the amber liquid into the cup now held by Messinia's delicate, spindly fingers. Yasuo returns the geisha soon after, an inviting thick, foamy hand forming on a glass I cradle. Calmly bubbling beer gives off a floral scent, a sharp contrast to the massive crimson which brought me here, the smell of blood now uncomforting. uncomfortably familiar. I pour over my drink to Yasuo, her gaze patiently gauging my reaction. I am losing my mind. Perhaps it's my distrust of others or my own anxieties causing me to overthink every gesture, but I find myself unable to plainly accept what should be a kind gesture.
こんなことしてもらって本当にいいの？私、安江に何もしてあげてないのに。安江はいつも優しいね。
Something, if they're actually stuck in time and nothing ever changes, I guess her just being there is already something. Something she's doing for her, even if she doesn't realize it. Yeah, 20. The reason I can remember that the drinking age in Japan is 20 is because I was over there in 2018, right when I turned 20 while I was there.
あら、自分の誕生日を祝いたくないの？そうじゃないの。ただ
I had expected Yasuo to defend herself. Instead, she stares at me instantly as if examining an interesting specimen before her. Maybe this is no different to how we've been interacting this whole time. Another of her elaborate plays, but this time without a script to hand. Each of us left to take our cues from the other, judging and moving except with the other. As a particularly rowdy patron gives a boisterous laugh beyond us, Yasuo smiles and closes her eyes and retreats.
ごめんなさい。押し付けがましかったかもしれないわね。新しい方が来るなんて本当に久しぶりで。
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking.
いつかあなたを失うかもと思うと少し怖いの。
Of course she'd be scared. She's been sealed away for so long, everyone here has been. That I'm important enough to Yasuo for her to feel that way about me, even if it's only by circumstance, is oddly nice. It's been so long since I felt needed by someone. The least I can do is appreciate her generosity.
約束する。これからもできるだけここに来る。この世界はタイムカプセルみたいで、学生としても興味があるし。そういうわけだから飲もう。私の誕生日のためじゃなくて、二人の約束のために。
The smile is enough of an answer, the pent-up tension in my body releasing. An odd sense of purpose sparks inside of me, the first I've perhaps felt in my life. With that, we both lift our glasses to our lips and take a long sip. In the end, I only had a few sips of the bitter stuff. Thankfully, Yasuo was only too happy to oblige in drinking both our bottles, and a couple more besides. It seems the taste of alcohol will take some getting used to. Well, you know what? Beer is just not good. I'm a proud beer hater. I don't know. There's so many other alcohol. If it needs to be an alcoholic beverage, there's so many other things that actually taste good. Not beer. No, not beer. I'd heard that drinking before evening is odd, let alone at noon. Yasuo seems to hardly care though, her face now flushed and gestures decidedly more animated. All the images I had of a lady from the Meiji era, the joyful carousing woman skipping beside me isn't one of them. You still don't want to change that, which is perfectly fine. Don't ever let anyone pressure you into having alcohol. I mean that. Because it's easy enough to say, oh, I wouldn't be pressured. Do not. Stand firm. As she gives me a slightly uneven smile, I offer a polite bow.
ありがとう、安江。今日は楽しかった。あんまり飲めなくてごめん。もっと慣れなきゃね。
I wonder if she has like a time limit until she automatically gets sent back or something.
今度飲みたくなったらまた付き合ってよ。喜んでご商売に預かりましょう。
Perhaps it's a drink or simple tiredness, but I find the corners of my mouth lifting, just a little. I wonder if the stupor will last in the real world, now that I think of it. The passing thought only reminds me of the greater lie. Perhaps it's genuine honesty after hearing her own, or the drink making me less inhibited, but I want to tell her the truth.
安江、伝えたいことがあるの。私があなたをこの世界から出してあげられない理由は、方法がわからないんじゃない。魔術師じゃないからよ。あなたと違って私は普通の人間なの。でもなら どうやってこの世界に？
As I glance about at the people going about the day around us, Yasuo senses my want for privacy.
こちらへ。
Not a want to force. Yeah, and that's how it should be. In the drinking and the whole like social drinking has become too normalized. It's like I literally went to class with people who could not hang out without alcohol flowing. Like, oh, let's hang out on the weekend, and what we would do is just sit around the entire evening drinking, and getting more drunk. It's like, do you people not do anything else? Like, do you not have any hobbies? Nothing we could do together? Like, that's crazy. After a fair hike well beyond the town's limits, we arrive at the edge of the forest surrounding Sapporo. There's a peaceful serenity to the space that I've yet to find in my own world.
思い悩んでいることがあるなら言ってちょうだい。あなたのことなら何でも受け入れるわ。
The fact she cares should make me feel happy, but it stings my heart so. She doesn't know. She couldn't know. Taking a long breath to steady myself, I look down in shame and pull my left sleeve upwards tug by tug. Ooh. Yeah. Before long, the bandages show. The length chases further and further up my arm. The beige gauze discolored. Gauze? Yeah. Discolored by a blotch of bright scarlet. Fresh blood is pooled by now, the wound still proving sore as my sleeve drags over it. As I dare to look up at Yasuo, the woman wears a mournful expression. It's striking compared to her general demeanor.
あなた、自分に一体何をしたの？実は、私にもどうなっているのかわからない。ずっと昔に誰かが書いた本に、普通の人間が後天的に習得した魔法の力を呼び起こす方法が書かれていたの。仕組みはよくわからないけど、その本の通りにやると、この世界に来られるようになったの。でも、それを発動させるには血が必要で、その本はイタリア語で書かれていて、血の魔法っていうみたい。
In response to my fast-paced explanation, her eyes closed. I can see the gears turning inside, the connection between my general frailty and rapid exhaustion when visiting now plain. I know what she's going to say next. Neither of us want to hear the words.
別に死ぬわけじゃないから、そりゃ体に負担はかかってるけど、これくらい。お願い、もう来るななんて言わないで。安江にもっと会いたいの。
I wonder what her blood type is. Oh, hoppala. She thinks for some time before giving a heartbreaking smile of defeat.
来させないなんてことはできないわね。
I'd rather she have scolded me. Without any further defense to be made, I fall silent while looking at nothing in particular.
ほのか、自分を大事にね。あなたと知り合えてどんなに嬉しいかわからないでしょうね。でも、お願いだから、自分の命を危険にさらすようなことはやめてちょうだい。心配させてごめんなさい。
As I scuff my feet on the grass in angst, I notice Yasuo's shadow moving nearer. By the time I look back up, my body freezes at how close she's come. Without a word, she reaches out with those long, dainty fingers and grasps the corners of my glasses, suddenly evening their position on my face. With that, Yasuo steps back and smiles simply.
そういうのはね、私たち年長者がすることなのよ。
Well, you called yourself an elder. How old are you? The point made, Yasuo's smile slowly wears off. The time to say goodbye draws near. Where the next visit will be is difficult to say, but the fact it will come is certain. I'm not sure if it's imagined or not, but I feel Yasuo's become more comfortable with that fact. Understandable for a mage seeing their first visitor in 100 years.
ほのか、お大事に。ありがとう。
Yeah.
またね。
Yeesh. My head presses to the hardwood beneath, its hard cold surface rousing me. Blarily opening my eyes, I let myself stay in place as my senses slowly return to me. The smell of musty bugs, chalk, and blood plays on my nose, the scents making an unpleasant concoction. My body feels impossibly heavy. The stupor seems to be gone entirely, lost to the world I just left, but the experience of transference takes a heavy toll on my strength. Forcing myself to stand, I stagger to my feet with a hand on my desk for support. For real, it's like the exact same position, but obviously it's like even discounting the blood, just like the entire air around her and everything. Ooh. I find myself unable to do anything but stand idle in the cold, empty room. My tired eyes stare blankly out the window, the moon's dim light reflecting off the bare branches of winter. Oi, oi, oi. Silence hangs in the air, moonlight illuminating motes of dust floating in the evening's darkness. My head feels empty, no matter how hard I try to form so much as a fleeting thought. Simple exhaustion, I tell myself. How much blood are you using? And how often do you do this? Blood takes longer to actually replenish than you would think. With little desire to do anything else, I begin to walk to the bathroom before settling in for the night. The floor still bears the scars of my work, the book which started it all laying open amid a disorganized desk. I get some cleaning supplies and wash up some of the mess, I think to myself. Sometime. Feels like favorite word. Sometime.
夏の花は枯れ、秋の葉は落ちる。移ろいゆく世界に私たちは抗う運命にある。人間の永遠の愚行に対して、そして冬の雪が舞い。
Cookie and apple juice. Or maybe she does eat meat. Maybe she should get some beef. You beat the game? I don't think so. I like that I still have absolutely no idea. Oh, what's gonna happen though?
お願い、もう来るななんて言わないで。安江にもっと会いたいの。この世界に初めて来たのが、むしろほのかのような人でよかったわ。私はいつもどんなに些細なことでも世の中を正したいって思ってる。
あの生活を裏で支えていたものを知ってからは、自分の手が血で汚れているように思えてならなかった。
結構よ。私を憎みたければ憎めばいい。
Please ignore that I'm covering most of the text.
あ、タイズ・イン・ブラッド。血のちぎり。
Spoiling a kiss CG. In the opening cutscene, Act 1, Scene 2, The Free-Spirited Librarian. Yuri! In my Yuri VN! No way. With the taste of coffee from the station lingering in my mouth, I idly watch the scenery scroll by with weary eyes. Another day begins, my daily routine now so deeply ingrained that getting to the university requires little more than muscle memory. But I may want to visit Yasu again. Practicing blood magic won't be possible until my body has some more time to recover. Until then, I have little choice but to live out another day in this world. Not a big fan, huh? I count it among my worst traits, but I've always had a tendency to eavesdrop. My attention drifts from one conversation between passenger to another, living vicariously through others without the bother of involvement in their lives. Others seem to be in a good mood from overheard clips of conversation. One salaryman talks to another about looking forward to the end of the week, being a Friday. Schoolboys chat about the plans for the weekend and the new game they're into. My life may have stopped, but those of others have kept moving. Locking my phone from my bag for distraction, I begin to check various messaging apps to get across what I've missed. Plans are made and rumors spread while cute pictures and jokes are posted. While I might have tried to keep in contact with friends from previous schooling, we inevitably drifted apart without the connection of being classmates. These days, such morning browsings just covers the day's news and message board threads. Ew. It's funny how different this is to Yezo's time. She couldn't... Weird. Screeching of the train's brakes puts an abrupt halt to my thoughts, people yelping in surprise at the unexpected shattering. The stop is so sudden that I'd have fallen if not for putting a foot out before me. The momentary chaos at an end. I right myself and slip my phone back into my bag. Discontented passengers question and murmur as the train comes to a stop far from any station, soon quieting as a monotone voice from above echoes about the carriage. The short, almost curt message only causes more consternation among the passengers. Others around me begin to quietly chat between themselves, some wondering if a train ahead of us broke down or if the bitter cold has caused line problems. Some wonder aloud if someone's died, the scandalous excitement to the whispers barely hidden. Seconds turn to minutes, the train showing no signs of moving for some time yet. The more impatient passengers pace about the aisle, or more settle into reading books or phones. With the heat inside only growing more stifling, I look out at the snow-covered world outside with some longing. As I do, a movement catches my eye from the tracks below. Ooh. Catching a glimpse of blue, I realize I've seen something I shouldn't have. Uh-oh. Hi, TK, good evening! A man in light blue coveralls slowly makes his way along the gravel towards the front of the train, his face downcast. Dirty gloves hold a large roll of blue tarpaulin under his right arm. I've seen the material in the news. There's only one reason it would be used here and now. Suddenly finding myself restless, I turn back towards the other passengers. All that faces me is a scene of mild discontent at their mundane routine disrupted, ignorant to the cause. Without anything to do with the knowledge I have, I simply take up my phone and begin to scroll through the news feed once more. And so, one more passenger discontentedly waits for the routine to resume. Thank you for the hydrate time. I literally just took a sip. And thank you for the pat. The day slowly draws to an end, my last daylight hours spent in the university library as they often are. The desk where the elderly librarian once sat lies empty, her shawl left draped over the chair's back as a small, perhaps unintended tribute. Ever since she retired, the school had struggled to hire another. Sorry, pressing every word. Good thing we don't live there. The two of us had shared a silent agreement. I often remained in the library long past closing time, allowed to study while providing quiet company to the old lady as she worked to close up for the day. I enjoyed our quiet coexistence, free from expectations of more. A book sliding into place on a shelf ahead rouses me from my reverie, the new librarian busily working away. Oh, you're the librarian! Ah, not who I expected. One Shino Kikuchi, according to the email which introduced the newest member of staff. Only hired in the last month, she's a stark difference from my elder in so many ways, not the least of which being her age. If I had to guess, she'd be in her early 20s at most. At least one thing is alike between them, she too lets me stay well into the evenings. Perhaps the old librarian passed a note to her. I'm thankful in any case. I hate being in imposition, but the school provides a far better environment for studying, given the solitude and loneliness of my faraway home. Looking back down to the book before me, a mundane bit of research material for my course, the words begin to dance as I try to read. The more I try to focus on the passage, the more my thoughts skate away. The same happened with lectures throughout the day. One shudder or another in those last moments before the train stopped was what a human's life ending feels like. In that instant, their wanderings in this world ended. Yet I have no other to tell. The same goes for the bandages running up my arm. They serve as an ever-present reminder of how little I have in common with anyone around me.
もっと早くに言っとくべきだったよね。付き合ってくれてありがとう。
Oh! The unexpected voice from the shelves ahead makes my head jerk upwards. I hadn't realized how rattled I've been from the morning's experience, my heart only now returning to its normal pace now that I have a distraction. Like so many others, the woman wears a smile so easily. I can't help but muse how odd she looks for a librarian. From her athletic clothing to her every movement belies a barely suppressed energy.
私こそ長居させてくれてありがとう。
Evidently bored of her menial work in shelving books, Shino takes my reply as an invitation to have a proper conversation. Setting down a book in her hand, she comes over and spins a chair about, sitting herself sideways in a rather inelegant way. While the relationship between Yasa and I may have a certain push and pull as we feel out each other's boundaries, Shino has no such concerns. Even now, her bright eyes move from me to the textbook in my hands, happily seizing on an opening to get closer to me. Oh, hi! Is Shino your type?
イタリア語を読めるの？すごいじゃん。私も言語はいくつか知ってるよ。世界とつながってるって感じがするよね。そうかも。私は単位のためだけど。
So she wants to chat. That too is a difference between Shino and the previous librarian, one I like rather less. Something throws me off about her, all the more so now that we're close. I can't quite put my finger on it though, making me feel bad once again for being so distrustful towards someone so friendly. As if in answer to my want to end the conversation, I play for ping resounds from Shino's pocket. My hand dives into her pocket, quickly retrieving her phone to examine the message. Her face lights up as she starts reading. The woman looking like a child given a new toy, she begins scrolling something or another with her full attention. I don't particularly mind. We all have our appointment and such. You were like, ah ha ha. A minute or so later, she fumbles with the on-screen Kana keyboard, slowly dragging her thumb across the grid to carefully type in her reply. Noticing my slightly baffled staring upon sending her message, she gives a grin.
こういうのって本当にすごいよね。一昔前はただのチャットスペースだったのに、今じゃサイバースペース全部がポケットの中に収まるんだもん。世界中の誰とでも簡単につながれるし、図書館の蔵書も丸ごと収容できちゃう。
Very true. What an antiquated way of speaking. I've never heard cyberspace used by anyone, at least not without a thick sense of irony. Without intending to, I let my confusion show on my face.
あれ、なんか変なこと言ったかな？別に。ただ、最近はみんなスマホに慣れてると思ってたから。
Maybe she's also from a different time. She quickly puts her phone away into her pocket and takes to her feet once more, slightly embarrassed for my picking up on it.
ああ、それはなんていうか、私はほら田舎育ちだからこういうのを使うようになったのってつい最近のことでさ、コンピューターとかスマホとかまだ慣れてなくて。
I suppose being a country bumpkin would explain it, though I thought even the most remote corners of Japan would at least have the cheaper smartphones around by now. If someone like Shino finds phones so exciting, maybe Yasuo will too. Getting any signal for internet access is obviously a non-starter though. I mean, the entire concept of a phone would be interesting even without any internet connection though. To someone who doesn't know what it is, I think.
じゃあ、どうして都会に来たの？一言で言えば冒険かな。いろんな仕事を転々としてその時々に興味があることをやってる。
Checking on whatever's interesting. But to become a librarian, you need a degree.
ここの仕事も次が見つかるまでのつなぎってこと？どれくらいいるの？
She gives a simple shrug.
飽きるまでかな。
What an odd attitude. I vaguely heard of people who drift from job to job as their whims take them, but this is my first time meeting someone like that. I'd be lying if I said I weren't a little envious of her approach to things.
それって大変じゃない？別に心のありようさえずれてなければ生きるのはぐんと楽になるよ。これだって思える生き方があればいいよね。私はいつもどんなちっぽけなことでも正しい形にできたらなって思ってる。軸さえぶれなきゃ目の前で起きてることもあんまり気にならなくなるんじゃないかな。
Her words are said with such innocent naivety that I'm thrown off by the strange woman before me. It's not that I disbelieve that a drive to accomplish something is good, but more than it's hard to believe someone when they so earnestly cling to it. More that, not than. Practically anything I've got myself into of late would be problematic to actually discuss with someone else, leaving me with nothing to continue the conversation. Thus the distance between myself and others grows that little bit more. That isn't to say the carefree librarian is wrong though. If there's any cause, any single thing I can believe in, it's freeing Yasuo from that sealed world. She of all people doesn't deserve that fate, and I alone have the knowledge to even find her. Prompted by the thought of Yasuo, my mind soon begins wandering off its own accord. If Shino wants to talk, I might as well try to get something useful out of her.
魔術師のこと何か知ってる？
I like that apparently magic is a common thing in the world. It's just like, yeah, some people can do magic.
急に話題が変わったね。ついこの前、医者をやってる魔術師の記事を読んだの。それでちょっと気になって。
It's not entirely a lie. The odd news article or documentary about mages catches my eye these days, now that I know one. Shino shifts about, discomforted by the subject. She quickly tries to paper over her reaction upon realizing I've noticed.
気になる存在ではあるよね。珍しいから実際に魔術を使っているところなんてなかなかお目にかかれないし。それもそうだけど、全く違う人生を歩んできた人がすぐそばにいるのに、誰もそれに気づかないって不思議だなって、そう思わない？平均的な魔術師は普通の人とあまり変わらない。なのに魔術に不信感を持たれちゃうのは残念だよね。この町の魔術師は目立たないようにしてるみたいだけど。それに力の強い魔術師となれば話は別じゃない？ヨーロッパだともっと堂々と暮らしてるみたいだし、古くから続く血統の魔術師は城を持ってることもある。自然だからこそみんな魔術師に対して慎重になるんだろうね。異質なものを恐れるのは人の常だもん。
I can only imagine how powerful a mage must have been to seal away a whole portion of the world. The entirety of old Sapporo and his people carved away from reality and lingering for an eternity. How anyone there hasn't gone mad is beyond me. Shino's earnestness is no less visible on this topic than the last. Her angst over people's dislike of mages is quite clear. She hardly seems the type to hide her feelings, earning her some degree of trust, even if I do dislike her nosiness. Realizing the time is getting on as the sun begins to set further, I file away Shino as a potential source of information as I get up and slide the book into my bag.
もう帰るの？疲れすぎないうちに帰らなきゃ。今日も長居させてくれてありがとう。いつでも大歓迎。広い図書館で一人きり、延々と本を片付け続けるだけなんて寂しいもん。
I thought I'd give an appreciative nod before pulling my coat from the seat and slinging it over my shoulders, my bag following before I start shuffling out of the library. It wasn't a lie that I needed to head back before I got too tired, but the reason goes unsaid. Tonight I renew my efforts on studying my other reading material. If I'm to devote myself to some cause or another, then that cause will be something only I can do. The concerns already begin to feel fleeting as I focus myself on a task ahead. From now, my purpose in life will be freeing Yasuo from her gilded cage. Oh. Okay. Act 1, Scene 3, A Different Time. Ooh! Sword and spear ring out as they clash, voices bellowing and men falling as their vibrant cloth swirls about in the violence. No less vivid are the heartfelt expressions, from the deepest fury to a most devastating anguish. From my seat in the audience, I watch on silently with rapt fascination. Chushin Gura, the treasury of loyal retainers. A tale of 47 Ronin and the quest to avenge their master caught between loyalty to their late lord and duty to the shogunate. Oh. The story reaches this bloody conclusion, the villain cut down and their lord's spirit at peace. For going against the shogun, however, all will sacrifice themselves for their deeds. It's a stirring performance, the actors' heartfelt cries and gestures feeling more visceral than any picture on a screen. Like most my age, I thought theatre a little old-fashioned, obsoleted by movies and TV shows. How wrong I was. Oh my god. That is some loud clapping. The crowd's applause, joined by my own, echoes about as the heavy curtain draws across the stage, another fine work coming to an end. The play is apparently frequently performed here, being very popular in its time and a favourite of Yasuo. It's no wonder either. This is a heartfelt tale of honour in an era in search of a cause. In the tumultuous upheaval of a feudal society becoming a modern imperial power, it's inevitable that many would remember a simpler, somewhat fictional past. Oh my god, what pride flag is that? Jishingura even resonates with someone like me. It isn't that honor doesn't exist anymore in my own time, albeit in a different form, but that it's distant, something you only hear about on the news. Oh. Oh, this one had a Patreon post about how they went about making this CG, I think. The cut soon withdraw once more, slowly revealing the performers and the director. Yesa stands at the center of the stage, bowing with so many men flanking her. Some are sturdy, while others are slender, some elegant and others brutish. At the bee! Good evening! All natures and appearances are represented, each having given their all in the grand play. I'm studying Woman Wednesday a little early. It's almost midnight here. Oh, yet not one of the actors was human. Oh! Another round of applause ensues from the crowd, who are no less delighted by the illusion than the performance itself. Of course, I'm among them. No matter how many times I see it, Yes's magic still amazes me. Oh, that was a fancy effect. I like that. So on Tuesday, yeah, for like 4 more minutes. No, I like her. I really like the clothes. Some nice outfits. With little to occupy myself with following the play and little desire to intrude in the lives of others, I quietly wait for Yesa outside the large venue. A task made easier by the cool night air. Wait, didn't you want to wait until your body had a way to actually replenish your blood? You're going there the second? Like, okay. Yeah, no wonder she's dying. Life goes by slowly here. The contrast is one of the most jarring things about our two worlds. Even the most patient modern people have a sense of urgency about them. They're always thinking of things they need to do, people to meet, and news to read. Here, the old man urging his horse on simply pines for a meal and bath, his day's work over. Granted, if you're stuck somewhere for all eternity, would you really wonder what's going to happen the next day? As Yasuo finally leaves the venue, I call out to her. The way her shoulders relax a little when she sees me waiting doesn't go miss.
楽しんでもらえたかしらええ、とても。普段歌舞伎や舞台なんて無縁の生活だけど、それでも感動したよ。
She must be a pretty strong mage, huh? I'm assuming. We have no way to scale. Yasuo gives an indulgent smile at the praise, the two of us starting on our way down the street. It's hard to believe that the road we walk is the very same one I've so often visited downtown, the street layout uncannily familiar. Even as we walk, the odd passers-by gives an appreciative bow or word of thanks to Yasuo. Only her response each time is a humble, almost shy bow. Yasuo must be one of those grand mages Shiro mentioned, yet she herself never mentioned how powerful she was. Of course she wouldn't. Power scaling, she's stronger than God. Far from finding herself flustered by those around us, she instead turns to me for conversation.
一つ聞きたいことがあるの。現代でもまだ歌舞伎は人気があるのかしら私の劇場はまだ残っていて
Not as much. Probably. I feel a little pained by her clear hope for a different answer than I can give. In a world of movies, phones and streaming, theatre is largely relegated to the more culturally refined. Modernity continued unquestioned. The theatre is little more than a small plague in the real world, one of many minor landmarks commuters unknowingly walk by every day. Were it not for Yasuo's interest in the topic, I wouldn't have noticed the unremarkable sign myself. Said plague never mentioned Yasuo though. Odd for someone who seems to have practically created the venue's reputation.
今はいろんなエンタ娯楽があるから劇場に通ってるのは年配の方が多いかなでも本州だとまだ観客は多い方札幌は本州ほどじゃないけどアマチュアのって素人上がりの人たちの歌舞伎が時々上演されてる
I I try to put as positive a spin on it as I can, but the slight clouding to her expression is enough to see I failed. It's difficult to communicate just how much she's missed in over 100 years, much of it harrowing and depressing. Trying to move the topic to more palatable ground, I speak first.
ねえ、いろんな魔術を使えるのに、どうして歌舞伎に使おうと思ったの？
That's a good question, actually.
魔術師というのはね、時々妙なことをしたがるものなの。私たちの本質は普通の社会ではあまり受け入れられないものだから、関わりを持たずに生きているうちに変容していく。でも皆が私の術に目を輝かせているのを見て、歌舞伎をなりわいにしようと心に決めたの。妹にも普通の人々と関わっていきたいという思いがあればよかったのに。
A sister? She never mentioned she had a sister, even now her words more mumbled to herself than directed towards me.
魔術師ってあんまりいなさそう。私、あなたに会うまで一人も知らなかった。札幌のことしかわからないけれど、そうね。区内に数十人いるかどうかというところかしら。ほとんどは力を隠して過ごしているか、人里離れた場所でひっそりと暮らしているから、正確な数はわからないの。自分の力に気づいていない人がいる可能性は？
Yasuo gives a reflexive snort at the idea, the crude amusement at odds with her otherwise calm and collected nature. She soon answers my confused reaction.
それは考えられないわ。視力に気づいていないも同然だもの。魔術師が自分の魔術の感覚に気づかないなんて。
Something inherent to them, I guess.
あ、そうなんだ。ごめん、私、本当に何も知らなくて。そうでしょうね。でもあなたは、この閉ざされた世界をやすやすと行き来しているようね。
I think to myself about how to communicate such a thing, ending up with another clumsy analogy just as Yasuo had used.
一言で言えば、石を握ってるような感覚かな。手を離すだけ。だから、元の世界に戻るのは簡単。でも、こっちの世界に来るのは、地面にある石を浮かせるような感じ。今は確実にできるけど、やっぱり、まだ実感は湧かない。って言えば、分かってもらえるかな。ええ、実に理にかなっているわね。私も魔術について聞かれたらそう説明すると思う。
Ooh, but this she emphasizes her point by conjuring a fan into her hand.
魔術は物理法則に反するもの。私たちは現実を否定しているわけだから、現実は何であれ、魔術を使われることに反作用を生じさせる。だから、魔術の効果を維持させるには力を込め続けなくてはならないの。ほのかの言葉を借りれば、石を浮かべておくにはしっかり握っておくというところでしょうね。そして手を緩めると。
Interesting. But this fan dematerializes in a moment.
石が地面に落ちるということ。もしかしたらほのかは自分で思っているよりも魔術のことをよく分かっているのかもしれないわね。そんな、まだまだ知らなきゃいけないことだらけだよ。私、質問してばかりだよね。嫌ならごめん。
I know we're like, what, an hour? A little more than an hour into it. I still think this whole walking thingy here is definitely one of the best things about the, what the game looks like. Aside from, art style and character design, whatever, it's like, they're walking. It actually looks like they're walking. That's cool as hell.
とんでもない。あなたの好奇心は素敵よ。お友達に聞いたことは？友達なんていないよ。誰かと仲良くな
I
れ
don't
る
have
わ
any
けでもないし。
friends.
あら、私にはそうは思えないけれど。実はね、この世界に来るのがわざと年だけを積んですっかり傲慢になった年寄りの魔術師だったらどうしようかと心配していたの。
She gives an earnest smile to show her sincerity. Maybe it's only our being forced together by these strange circumstances, but having the company of Yesu is something I'm grateful for. While she accepts my questioning of her, Yesu never pries into my own affair. Besides, everyone would seem approachable to her. So many walk up to Yesu in the streets, the powerful mage thinking nothing of speaking to them as equals. It would be so easy to become aloof and arrogant with that kind of power. She's so easygoing and has so many skills and interests. In every way, Yesu is a far better person than I. When I'm in a putting myself down contest, and Honoka is my opponent, Jesus Christ. How unfair it is that someone like her instead of me would be so cruelly sealed away. As we turn a corner, Yesu's soft voice speaks again.
もう一つ聞きたいことがあったの。どうして私を強い魔術師だと思ったの？比べられる魔術師の知り合いなんていないでしょ？大学の新しい師匠がおしゃべり好きだから魔術のこと聞いてみたの。自分が使うもののことは知っておきたいし。まあ、大学生なのね。すごいわ。何を勉強しているのか聞いてもいいかしら？
I'm a little taken aback by Yesu's excitement before remembering the context. University must have been rare to get into in her time, let alone for a woman.
人文学よ。主に文学ね。
You look the type.
あら、この世界が役に立ちそうだこと。
I say this as positive of a sense as I can muster. You look the type.
西洋文学なの。
The pace of the conversation comes to a stop. Yesu left with an awkward smile. We almost find a common wavelength so often, only to miss by so little each time. Then again, if it hadn't been for my interest in European literature, I'd never have ordered that book on Blacknet. I wouldn't have had the... Alles gut? If you hear stuff falling, that's my roommate trying to make food. I'm not sure if she's succeeding. Now she's looking at me angrily. Yeah, everything's fine. It's just trying. I'm not sure how much the microphone picks up sometimes. It's just like when you hear me just stop in the middle of a sentence, most of the time it's because something's happening in the background. I'm like, what the heck? I wouldn't have had the patience to slowly read through the handwritten pages either, my well-thumbed Italian dictionary at hand all the while.
ここで聞いた情報を使わせてもらうとしても、参考文献一覧にどう書
A
けばいい
friend
の？
told me.
友達から聞いた話とか？あら、友達はいないんじゃなかったの？
There was a cheap rhetorical trap, and her teasing face shows she knows it. That said, I find myself rolling the idea around in my mind like a sweet. The thought suddenly comes to mind that I brought something along thanks to chatting with Shino days earlier. Oh, never mind, it's days earlier. Okay, my bad. My hand dives into my pocket to retrieve my phone, but before I can show it to her, a cheerful red packet slips out and falls to the ground first. I didn't realize there are some days between them then. Yasu's curiosity takes control as she quickly stoops down and takes it in her hands. A chocolate bar!
あ、それ、今まですっかり忘れちゃってた。チョコレートを持ってきたの。
Yasu hardly hears me, entirely captivated by the relic of my world as she turns the packet this way and that. She's probably unable to read the English branding and unused to the modern packaging to begin with. It's a little charming, actually. She's hardly shy about her bewilderment. It's set happily playing with the foil edges and trying to make sense of the slogans and marketing.
チョコレート、聞いたことがあるわ。確か東京で売られている薬だったかしら。それがとうとう北海道にも来たの？これは薬じゃなくてただの食べ物よ。お菓子って言えばいいかな。
She's not making a secret of wanting to eat it, very visibly stopping herself from asking. I feel like a mother whose kid is begging at the store.
食べていいよ。高くないものだし。
I'm a little startled by how quickly she begins to work on the wrapper and how clumsily she rips it apart. It's easy to forget just how ingrained so many everyday things are to a modern person, like the specific ways packets are designed to open. No sooner does she take a mouthful of the chocolate inside that her face lights up in delight.
とっても甘いのね。
She continues smashing away, raising her free hand to poorly hide her chewing mouth. She's so cute. Also, hi, Raiders. Good morning. I'm new. I like the color pink vision of J producer, and we're currently playing a Hide and Blood because we got finished with Ace Attorney relatively quickly. Please keep in mind that this game has quite a bunch of content warnings, though I don't think any of them are going to come into effect right this second, but I just wanted to say, keep them in mind. That's why they're pinned up there. Hi! I am having fun. I hope you had fun as well. What were you drawing? Just cleaning some of up. Nice. You wanted to color them, but you're hungry. Me too, I'm also hungry. Thank you for the pad. The modern world has many wonderful things. It's one cheap packet of chocolate, but I get it. So Yesu has a sweet tooth. I wonder when sugar retreats reached Hokkaido, she might have only had bean and rice-based confectionery. Sugar would be terribly sweet compared to anything she's had before. As she savors the last few morsels from the packet, I reach in and take the phone from my pocket once more, usually having left it charging when I came here in the past. I'm surprised she can take it with her. Yesu gulps down the last of her chocolate as I bring it up between us, her puzzled face reflecting off a shiny black screen. She jerks back a little in surprise as the screen lights up. Eager to see what she makes of it, I unlock the phone and hand it over to her. Oh, ooh. Basic background.
電話？触っていいよ。この画面に触れたらいろんなことができるから。
I give a couple of taps here and there to show opening an app and such, before Yesu gives it a try for herself. I don't think she quite understands it all, but her face lights up as she slowly gets the hang of it. As Yesu fiddles about, she manages to discover moving things by dragging left and right and opening controls by tapping completely by herself. I'm surprised she worked it out so quickly, but I suppose she's still just human. It's not like I understand how a phone really works, I just use it.
あら、これは？
They did in fact hit us with more than another 10 Ashleys before the end of the game. As she lowers the phone for me to see, it appears Yesu's managed to open the camera app. The viewfinder currently pointed down at our feet.
最近の携帯電話はね、カメラとしても使えるの。
Oh, you could
ほら、
take
このボタンを
selfies.
押せば写真を撮れるよ。
The idea seems to have stumped an already perplexed Yesu. I take the phone back to guide her through how the camera works, changing to the front camera and holding it up to show both of us on screen. It's admittedly a little clumsy. I've never been one for selfies and keep trying to move the phone the wrong way to keep us in the shot. The look of sheer glee on Yesu's face when it all clicks for her though, as seen on the screen before us, make it all worth it. I can't help but smile at the absurdity of the situation as the two of us crowd into the swaying frame. I have not played the demo, I have no idea what's going to happen in this game. With some difficulty I managed to somehow maneuver a finger onto the shutter button, finally taking the shot with a loud click. Bringing the phone down between us, I show Yesu the saved photo, her face leaning in close to take in every detail. As soon as the scene ends— oh really? I am aware that this game uses British English, not grammar, that's the wrong word, but maneuver. How the fuck do you write that? That looks crazy. Maneuver.
信じられないわ。 色が鮮やかで、それにじっとしていなくてもいいのね。ねえ、どうしてこんなに早く現像できるの？それは説明するのがちょっと難しいかも。でも携帯電話で撮った写真は現像しなくていいの。フィルムに映してるわけじゃないから。
Manövra. I'm so used to the digital era that the days of film cameras slipped my mind. As I replace the phone in my pocket, Yasuo writes herself, but the excited energy from my new discovery still remains. I have to remind myself yet again that this woman's actually the older of us.
ありがとう、ほのか。こんなに長く本物の世界を感じたのは初めてよ。今は何という時代なの？
Which era is it?
明治の後、大正、昭和、平成ときて、今は令和よ。令和、いい響きね。きっとそれに食べ物も。さっきのチョコレート、すごく美味しかったもの。
I hold my tongue, but it's also ordinary to me that I hardly notice such things day to day. To Yasuo though, this might as well be another world entirely. A childlike joy is quite charming. It feels nice to have helped her, however accidental it might have been. I wondered just how long it's been since I've helped another. I'm so wrapped up in my own feelings that it takes a moment to realize Yasuo's attention has shifted back to me.
ほのかは笑っている方がいいわ。
Aww. In a moment, my face collapses. It's not that I hate her well-meaning compliment, but somehow it doesn't feel right to smile, not after everything that's happened.
安江はどうしていつも笑っていられるの？閉じ込められた後でさえも。だってもう100年以上経ったのよ。年も人々もこの世界も何一つ変わらないまま。昔はこんな風じゃなかったのよ。一番辛かったのはこの世界から抜け出そうとしていた頃でしょうね。失敗するたびに愛する人たちと過ごせる時間が失われていくのを感じていたから。でもどうして年を取らないの？ちっとも年を取ってるように見えない。あら、ありがとう。魔術師の中でも特に力の強い者は自分の魔術で老化を遅らせることができるの。普通の人の3倍。いえ、それ以上に長生きする人もいるわ。
Wait, so they're locked away, but time is not necessarily stopped?
あっさりと諦めることもできたけれど、私はここで死ぬわけにはいかなかった。あの子が私をさまよわせるべく作ったこの牢獄で死ぬわけにはいかなかったのよ。あの子への復讐は私の最後の劇になっていたでしょうね。あの子がまだ生きているならだけれど。
For the first time, I catch a glimpse of something darker in her. Without thinking, I take a step back, my chest tightening as a change from my otherwise gentle nature. Ooh. The cheerful red packet crumbling up in her tightening hand reminds me of the here and now, Yasuo forcing her thoughts from her mind given my presence. It's only natural to hate anyone who did such a thing to her, but I didn't know she had such anger bottled up.
ほのかには関係のない話よね。この話はここまでにしましょう。そういえば、ほのかの世界は随分と様変わりしているようね。
True, yeah.
おズボンが一般的なのかしら？
She gives a small smile, trying to distract herself with a lighter topic. I can't help but feel awful, but I humor Yasuo for her sake. I wouldn't say it to her now of all times, but this world reminds me a little of a snow globe. A small slice of the world, captured at one point in time and now everlasting. A world where the company of strangers is all she had.
そうだけど安心して。着物や浴衣もお祭りや行事の時に着てる人は多いから。私も最近の花火大会で浴衣を着たよ。
Bet she would want to see you in one man.
まあ、ぜひ見てみたいわ。きっと似合うでしょうね。
Every so often she oversteps into undeserving compliments. I get that she wants to put me at ease though.
子供の頃の一番古い記憶の一つが、浴衣を着て出かける準備は万端だったのに、 祭りが中止になったことでね。あの時のホタルは花火よりも綺麗だった。夜の闇に浮かび上がる光が子供心に魔法みたいだと思ったの。
Uh-oh.
素敵な思い出だこと。ホタルなんて。
I assume the parents are dead.
私も環境汚染が進んで自然が減ってきてるから、ホタルが見られる場所を見つけるのって難しいの。
I feel an altogether too familiar pang of regret at mentioning my family, my body going cold at the idea of having to think about this any further. This is the one place I'm free from that feeling. Why did I have to bring them up? Please don't ask anything further about them, yes sir, please. Soon the wish becomes altogether too true. The silence makes it clear Yes has been taken off guard, acutely aware of the topic to avoid. As I feel pain from clutching at my arm, I decide to use the one excuse to leave that I told myself I wouldn't.
そろそろ戻らなきゃ。疲れちゃった。そう、ゆっくり休んでね。何より私を友達と言ってくれて嬉しいわ。誰にだって友達は必要だもの。自分ではそう思えなくてもね。だからこそ。ありがとう、ヤスエ。
I keep interrupting her, I'm sorry. With that, I take a deep breath and close my eyes. Even as the magic begins to take hold, my mind is elsewhere. I can't make the world a better place as Shino is working towards. I'm too selfish and too useless to do something like that. What I can do is help this one person. Oh, that's it? Yeah, Act 1, Scene 4, a hidden people. A little more. For every person there's a last goodbye, a last take care, a last smile, hug and wave. I never knew which would be the last until... was blinded. Oh, it's finishing the demo, yay! I see. Well, that's a demo to definitely hook you. The trees ringing the cemetery lie bare, the wind is chill having seen to the leaves, but the grass field covered by frost, all to be seen as so many pillars of granite rising from the white snow. The Asakawa family grave stands among them. On its side, 2 names are written. The business of attending to the grave is a strangely welcome routine. Setting something for my overactive mind to focus on has always been helpful. The emptied bucket from the temple now sits beside me, the condensation from my breath hanging in the air. The weeding and cleaning of the stone now done, I stand alone with nothing but my thoughts. Can't say I'm particularly good company. I suppose one shouldn't like cemeteries, but I found myself thankful for the time spent here. Every matter is thick with formality, from maintenance to prayer to the priests themselves. Everyone dutifully follows the script, perfect for someone like me. So far as I can tell, the unremarkable cemetery in Sapporo's outskirts has been here since the city's founding. The graves about me are old and new, ostentatious and simple. None of that matters to the owners now, who all lie just the same. Even here I'm not alone, with the husky words of another drifting on the cold air. A few yards away, a middle-aged man sits cross-legged before his friend's grave, his old bomber jacket dirty by the ground. His cheerful, even animated conversation is helped along by the sake before him, still wrapped in a convenience store bag it came in. In the times I've come here, various characters have come and gone as I visited loved ones. He seems to be one of the more regular ones. I too once talked to my parents' graves, about my worries and musings, today's events, even about Yasa and the wondrous world she inhabits, the kabuki performances she put on, her favorites, and so on. I soon stopped. People said I should talk to my parents at their resting place, but as I stand before them, the words don't come. For all I try, my heart just aches all the more. Perhaps it's simply that I'm the wrong generation to find comfort in it. All the rituals around death, I've never placed any faith in such things. The hole they left will never, can never, be filled. No amount of talking to cold stone will change that. As I look up from the grave before me, his voice fades into the background. The sight before me is as captivating now as the first time I saw it. In one of the graves far ahead, a lone woman stands solemnly before another pillar of stone. A vermilion kimono pierces through the white snow, making for a strikingly beautiful sight. She's never said a word in all the time she's visited this place, nor has she attended to the maintenance of the covered grave. Perhaps an old-fashioned matriarch, or simply a traditionalist, she glides with grace and precision to her steps. In the midst of the falling snow, the lady stands alone, grieving in haunting silence. Noticing her turning back, I quickly cast my gaze downward. Ooh, looks like she has a burn mark on her neck. The path to leave runs past me, the woman's sordid sandals scattering with each small and measured step her clothing forces. As she passes, I feel something strange. Not once have we spoken, nor have we so much as looked at each other, yet some unspoken connection exists despite her aloof and excessively formal nature. Perhaps out of that connection or mere curiosity, I dare to bravely glance behind me. The woman steps into a dark sedan parked past the cemetery's gated entrance, a sharp-looking blonde woman holding the back door open for her. The moment having passed, the old man's meaningless chatter drifts on the air once more. For all I might want to visit Yasu, to see a friendly face and give meaningless chatter, my body's too weak to handle another ritual today. For want of something to do, I end up downtown to run errands. I couldn't go back to that empty home, not today. One cheery theme turns to another every several feet as I walk by so many restaurants and stores. The visual how do you say that? Cacophony. There's no weather, the signs and advertisements blending in each other no matter which way I look. The sound of cars rolling by is interrupted by the cheerful chirp of walking signals. Joining the crowd, I walk across the wide boulevard to another set of stores selling another set of products. I did it first try? Yeah, I had some help. There's an uncanny nature to it all. There's an uncanny nature to it all. The street layout is the same as in Yasu's time, more or less. But the wooden frontages now gleam with glass, dirt streets now lie paved, and the white snow is lit by the lights of bustling businesses. Do you always keep that book on you? Yeah, talk about a jump scare. She says she's sorry. Unfortunately, the couple of weeks studying blood magic haven't yielded an ounce of progress towards helping Yasuo. What experience Isabella attempted more often failed than not, and her dialogues on the nature of magic are of little practical use. She was a normal person who stumbled into a world she didn't understand, just as I did. Death is the farthest thing from the minds of anyone here. The scars I carry would make any of them think less of me. As much as I may want to help Yasuo, I'm the only one who even knows of her existence. Once I found solace from my loneliness in the company of others. Now I find myself alone, even in a crowd. The crowd around me spurs an idea. Taking my phone from my pocket and moving out of the way a little, I bring up the camera app and take a quick photo. A momentary shot of an ordinary evening in Sapporo, a scene once transient, now captured for eternity. The fact that my selfie with Yasuo managed to come through from her world to mine was a surprise, given my stupor didn't. I imagine the clumsy false magic I'm using limits what makes it across. Regardless, I quickly seized upon it as a way to bring some of my world to Yasuo's. Taking the odd photo for her has proved surprisingly enjoyable. I wouldn't say I'm a particularly good photographer, but I've noticed some good opportunities while going about my day. Why is the background so fucking bright right now? What's going on? Just as I resume my walk towards the station, I catch eyes with a familiar figure, her red jacket proving hard to miss. She looks as relaxed as ever while casually leaning against the sidewalk railing. A colorful bag from the nearby game center slipped over her wrist. Gina gives an affable smile as she notices me, raising her other hand and greeting.
こんばんは。
Yo!
こんばんは。
I give a small bow as I walk up, resigning myself to a conversation. The last thing I wanted to do was put on airs of normality at now of all times. Surprisingly, it seems Shino's in the same mood. She has almost as much trouble keeping eye contact as I do, looking down the street as much as towards me. At least I have a good reason to quickly excuse myself.
シノ、おい、シノってば。
Oh! I seem to have interrupted something.
ミッケ。おい、シノ。
Ooh! I am covering most of your face. The woman practically bouncing up the street towards us comes to an abrupt halt, face frozen as she catches sight of me. She looks behind as if there was someone else there before awkwardly looking back. To say the atmosphere is strange would be an understatement. The random people passing by is all the while only highlighting the seconds.
邪魔してごめんなさい。もう行くね。そんなことないよ。ちょうどよかった。ほのかちゃん、こっちは友達のカオル。あ、どうも。
No. You sound almost as comfortable as I. I should have known Shino would find a way to rescue the situation. I wish she hadn't. It's only after Shino's companion greets me that I realize I've subconsciously shifted behind her. From her shabby clothing to many piercings, she couldn't be a better image of the youthful delinquent. It's a look that's in as far as I can tell, but she wears it so naturally that it's clearly simply her, not some fashion choice. A drawl and bad posture don't help. Posture.
浅川ほのかです。よろしく。
I retreat to formality once more, reciting my script in what's turned into Shino's play.
私が勤めてる大学の学生なんだ。自己紹介も済んだことだし、店に入ろっか。
Toto and I left looking at each other, the plastic bag on Shino's wrist flapping this way and that as she gestures. Going where?
カオルとそこの居酒屋に行く約束してんの。ほのかちゃんもおいでよ。多い方が楽しいし。ね。
Ne? I try to find an excuse not to, but I can't think on such short notice. There's another issue too. This area feels familiar somehow. Distracted by being watched by both, I end up mumbling a half-hearted acceptance.
じゃあ、お邪魔しようかな。
You sound very happy to be here. I see now why I felt an odd familiarity from outside. This past the same one yesterday took me to. It's amazing how long some of the local businesses have stayed operating. Then again, while it may be in the same place, the differences inside make me wonder if it could truly be called the same bar. The beer posters on the walls have been replaced by a trendy mural, and the old electric lamps are long gone thanks to new LED lighting. Even the ordering is different. Koda talks Shino through how to use the tablet mounted to the center of the table, a dizzying variety of food and drinks available at the press of a button. It's a world away from hating the grizzled owners he hobbles about. This all feels so slick and modern, even down to the smells of aged wood and tobacco being replaced by cleaning products and modern perfumes. The tone they're clearly going for is a little punk, but in that repackaged, commercialized way, the irony isn't lost on me. Looking about, the patrons around us wear hip and modern clothing. Kodo seems to fit the vibe far better than I do, blending perfectly into the Saturday evening's crowd.
ほのかだっけ？まとめて注文するよ。何にする？
The familiarity to call me by my first name right away feels strange. I try to summon some hunger as I clutch the code in my lap, gnashing the left sleeve of my sweater down to make sure my bandages are well covered. The reminder of what I have to hide from everyone else doesn't help my appetite.
ビールで地ビールをお願いします。フードは？まあ好きなの頼みなよ。
She wastes no time in quickly tapping away to make our order, leaving me silently glad that I managed to order something normal at the bar. I have to thank Yesu for teaching me. As she finishes up and puts the tablet back on its mount, it's Shino who speaks up.
そうだ、これあげる。
She passes the game center back over the table with a smile. I reflexively take it before looking inside and plucking the soft item out. Oh!
クマのぬいぐるみ？私、物に執着しないたちなの。手放す方が楽だもん。だから持ってて。何よその顔。
私にはぬいぐるみが欲しいか聞かねえんだな。
Aww.
ゲームセンターはその通りのすぐ先。無駄遣いしたいなら行ってきなよ。
Eddie.
その言い方、誰かさんそっくり。
Our talking is interrupted by a youthful waitress clad in a smart black uniform. She places 3 bottles of beer onto the table and works off the bottle caps before nodding and striding away to another group of customers. The others waste no time starting on their drinks and I follow their lead. Getting used to the taste of beer will take a while longer it seems, but I noticed that this is less sweet than what I had before. The way even the same brand of beer is made must have changed. Kaoru and Shino seem to have a good handle on one another. Even though Shino invited me in to be nice, I distinctively feel like I'm butting into their evening. I pull out my phone as subtly as I can, checking if it's late enough to use it as an excuse to leave. Just past 9, I could probably get away with it. Motion at the edge of my vision prompts me to look back up, Kaoru peering over the table towards my phone. Towards my phone in its lock screen, now set to the photo of Yasuo and I.
へえ、かわいい人だね。
My heart jumping as I realize what she's seen, my first instinct is to pull my phone back towards me. I try to recompose myself, but my face feels far too hot for it to be convincing.
ごめんごめん、つい気になってさ。
She waves her hand in front of her face in apology, but my heart still races as I grab at the distraction before Shino jumps into the topic.
2人は知り合ってどれくらいなの？
1ヶ月かそこらかな。
That's not long. She looks to Shino for confirmation, who agrees between sips. It took me a long time to get comfortable around Yasuo, but I suppose both seem so showable type. As they begin to talk with each other, the conversation thankfully drifts away from me as the friends chat between one another. Kodo's loud voice ensures the other patrons glance towards her rather than me as well. I drink the last of my beer as quickly as I can before finding an opening for conversation.
もう遅いし、そろそろ帰らなきゃ。誘ってくれてありがとう。全然いいよ。来てくれてありがとう。じゃあ、また来週図書館でね。
じゃあな、ほのか。今度また見かけたら声かけてよ。遊びに行こう。
With that, I shuffle out of my seat and grab my coat.
お会計は？ああ、気にしないで。私が誘ったんだし、これくらい出すよ。ありがとう。
I feel bad, but this will go quicker if I don't argue the point. I don't even know how much beer costs in this time. Probably not 20 cents. Probably not. With a last goodbye, I give a wave and head out. The wind is beginning to bite, especially after coming out of the izakaya. The footpaths are filled with people going this way and that, happily chatting between themselves. Once again, I find myself surrounded and anonymous. Just one more person amidst the crowd. Clutching my coat against the cold air, I begin walking to the train station, the long train journey back to that empty house now beckoning. Is that it? Yeah, Act 1, Scene 5. Yet dawn still comes. Oh, you know what? That is perfect, actually. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! I can take that. Perfect chance to stop. If one scene is done and over with. First save, yeah. I hadn't saved since we started. Which is probably not what you should be doing, but it is what it is. Thank you for the pad, and also yes, you made your first save in Act 2. See? Sometimes it depends on how far I read and I was like, oh man, yeah, maybe I should save at some point. That would be an interesting idea. No, it is interesting. See, we managed to finish. It's a 20, and now we have another one. Another game to me look forward to. It is fun. Well, fun. It's a little depressing so far, but like we'll see where that's gonna Where that's gonna go. I'm gonna send you guys over to Taro, who is, frankly, I don't know what game that is exactly she's setting up, but maybe there will actually be some gaming over there. It's a little depressing, but that's good. Yeah! We love a little depression in our Yuri visual novels. Maybe. For now, thank you guys so much for coming by. I'll see you soon. We will continue a Tithe of Blood also as soon as possible. For now, it's true, yeah. For now, have a good night. Thank you so much for coming by. Bye bye.